So I've had an idea for a video brewing in some corner of my brain for a while now, in which I would bring together Deadlock and Risk of Rain 2 and think about how the items in each game would fit in the other. There's a small roadblock with this idea though, and that's that combined, both games have 392 items, which would make for a very long video, and that would likely take me months to make. Pair that with the fact that Deadlock is constantly updating, and Risk of Rain 2 has an upcoming 4th DLC, I decided to turn this into an opportunity to try something new. Hi, I'm Socks, who clearly decided to make Constitution my dump stat at the character creation screen. And for today's video, instead of scripting everything out, I decided to make this video on stream by using 2 tier lists, one for each game, and ranking how well I think each game's items would work in the other game. This video is basically the edited down VOD of that stream so that the YouTube folks can be part of this pretty fun thought experiment. If you'd like to be a part of future live recordings, all announcements for those will be in the Discord server, which can be found in the description below. And since this is my first video since we started it, I'd like to remind y'all that I've started streaming every weekday from 12 noon to 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time at twitch.tv/socksneedshelp, which can also be found in the description. I look forward to seeing you there, and if you can't make it, don't worry. I'm going to be setting up a monthly highlights video that will be posted here. If the stream gets enough attention and I think this is needed, I'll likely set up a separate channel for stream VODs, but for now, if you want to see what goes on in streams, you'll have to be there or just wait for the highlights. Anyway, with all that being said, let's get into the video. Should we start with Deadlock or Risk of Rain 2 items? Because we have both. We got both ready and waiting. Deadlock. I think Deadlock will go a little faster. There's a little bit less items, and I think it's easier for us to think of how Deadlock is gonna work in. Music's a little intense, isn't it? I think it'll be easier to go from Deadlock to Risk of Rain 2 than it will from Risk of Rain 2 to Deadlock. I don't know how I'm gonna. The only thing I'm a little worried about is how I'm gonna edit this down. I don't know, we'll see how it goes. Anyways, let's get started. Tiers. I think we just go from probably would work terribly in the other game. Top would work really good and would be probably overpowered. And we're just gonna assume we're not gonna worry about like stacking or anything when it comes to how items, add up and stuff. Because Deadlock items don't stack. Well, some of them do, but most of them don't. Okay. Shall we get started? Cool, I feel like I should make my job easier editing and do like an actual intro for this, but I don't know how. So we're just gonna shotgun. Just go. Alright. Close quarters, literally focus crystal, but only applies to your left click, I guess, because it's only weapon damage. Anything that applies to weapon damage, I imagine would only apply to your left click in Risk of Rain 2, no? But close quarters is just a worse focus crystal. It's literally 20% damage, right? It's literally just 20% damage when in close range. I think that's even... Is that the same range? It's slightly more range than focus crystal. Probably say passable. I agree, it wouldn't be good, because it's literally just slightly bigger range, but you only get value out of it from your left click. That doesn't include your items, that doesn't include, anything else. It doesn't include your other 3 abilities, so possibly more. I'm gonna say it's bad. I'm gonna go with bad. But it's not literally just Focus Crystal, though, because Focus Crystal is all of your damage is increased by 20%. Close quarters would only be weapon damage. So I'm gonna say bad in RR2. Extended magazine, everyone has infinite ammo. This would only apply to characters like Bandit or Artificer. I'm just gonna say terrible and move on. It would apply to like 2 characters. And wouldn't even be that good because it's like a 30... How much is it? It's 30%. It is increased weapon damage, but, It would be good on Artie, it would be good on Bandit. I don't know who else has ammo. We're only going for, like, main stats, by the way. Auxiliary passive stats, like sliding buff or something, we're just not gonna even think about that. When it comes to, like, fleet foot, it's like, whatever. Railgunner, maybe? Well, her left click has infinite ammo. It could work, kind of, for her sniper, but I don't know. Welcome Bandit, but it would suck against most monsters. Well, yeah, whenever it says headshot, by the way, we're gonna just change that in our minds to crit. To, if you crit, this happens, instead of headshot. So I guess next, headshot booster. Just a flat hit of damage on a crit. That'd make for a solid white item, no? Especially if it was turned into percentage damage eventually, where it actually scaled with the rest of your kit. I think that'd be pretty good. I think headshot booster would be alright. It'd be alright. I think we'd have to put it in passable and no higher. It'd be good, but nobody's gonna be like, whatever. You know, it's not gonna be a big deal. High velocity rounds, probably terrible. You don't need to make your bullets go any faster. There is an argument for saying like a version of high velocity rounds would be added where it like increases the throw range of all of your abilities, but I don't think, because range is another stat, so I don't think that works. Monster rounds would be great, because everything's an NPC in Risk of Rain 2. Just a flat damage increase and damage reduction, I believe, because it's 25. It also grants damage reduction, right? Yeah, bullet resist versus NPC, so at least versus their thing. That would be a really powerful. I dare say a legendary. Just a flat 20%. Excuse me, 25%. Yeah. Increase to all damage to enemies. Even if that's base increase, that's a lot. I'm gonna go probably overpowered. Even as like a number one, like, and damage resistance, especially if we assume it stacks. Yeah, no, that's gonna be insane. It wouldn't cut bosses? Maybe, I guess. Does anyone know if monster rounds applies to... I mean, we can probably find... It's probably on the wiki. Does it apply to mid-boss? Applies additional damage to non-player characters like mid-boss. Yeah, so no, it does. It does. So mid-boss is effectively the Risk of Rain 2 boss of the game, so I think that would count. Alright, rapid rounds, same story as close quarters, literally just like half of an item we already have. I sort of committed to this video randomly on a whim yesterday, rather than plan super ahead for it like I do most of my videos, but it's fine, it's fine. Rapid rounds probably wouldn't be very good. Restorative shot, flat, a small burst of flat healing every like few seconds. Would it be better than Leech? Yeah, probably, actually. Because I imagine the healing would kick in more often than you are able to hit the enemy. I think Restorative Shot would probably be passable. It'd be a decent white item, but nothing crazy. Nothing crazy. I haven't been recording this entire time. It's fine, we have the VOD. Let's start recording now. Okay, we started the recording. Good. Fine, it's fine. Okay, look, we're scraping together today, and it's as weird as you think it is, but yeah. Okay, active reload, anything to do with reload just isn't gonna be that good because most characters don't have to reload. You could maybe make an argument to make active reload an equipment where you press it, you have to hit a quick time event like a fucking Dead by Daylight generator, and then you get the buffs of the 22% lifesteal. I think, no, it's like 13% bullet lifesteal and like slight attack speed. But active reload in Deadlock is literally designed to have your reload time. It's not really, the buffs are auxiliary in my opinion, so I think active reload would, if we just take it as is, would be terrible. If we sort of came up with an idea to turn it into an equipment, I would be like, yeah, whatever, not really good. Stalker. So damaging enemies in a range. Damaging enemies in a range gives you movement speed, does a little bit of damage over time, and reduces their bullet resist, so makes them a little weaker to your primary fire. So I think that'd be pretty good. That's what I should be doing for the sake of the video, is explaining what each item does, so that people who only play one of the games might have a little bit more of an understanding. Luckily, all the stage 1 items or the level 1 items are very simple. Seems decent. Yeah, Stalker, I feel like it could be good. We'll put it in passable. Oh, sorry, Backstabber. This is an old wiki image. This might not have, like, egg in it then, and some of the new items, like Indomitable. That, honestly, whatever. We can already know Indomitable would probably be pretty good. Not nearly as good as it is in Deadlock, but we'll get there when we get there. No egg. Yeah, sorry. No egg. Anyways, Fleetfoot, literally just press button, move faster, and you no longer have firing error when you're... Or Fleetfoot could be good, because it could be like... It allows you to continue attacking while being in full sprint. Like, it gives everything agile because of the passive it has. Because the passive Fleetfoot has, if I can find it, is... Yeah, the passive is removes the move speed penalty while shooting. So that wouldn't... It's not really agile for everything, because that would only be for your left click, and some characters, like Huntress, already have agile in their left click. And then the active is a short cooldown that just gives you movement speed and slow resist for a short burst, which would be fine. We don't have to worry about like what slide distance means, because sliding just isn't a thing in Risk Grind 2, unless it only applies to Commando slide. Ever in the Huntress left click passive, which, yeah, it would be, that would be like a solid green item, no? Just everything gets agile and you get, or no, it would be an equipment, no, so it would be a passive on an equipment. So... Because it's still an equipment where you press it and you go faster, so every 16 seconds you can press this, go a little faster, and on your passive, it still has the passive stat of being like, yeah, I'm gonna put this in pretty good. I'm gonna put that in pretty good. I think that would help. Intensifying magazine would be nuts on certain characters. On proccable characters, increase your damage done by, what is it, 40% or something? 45%. After holding left click for 2.5 seconds. Yeah, I think that'd be pretty good in Risk of Rain 2. It'd be amazing on some characters. I mean, you're right. It'd be insane. It would be like... I'm just thinking of the cast, like literally most characters, except for like single shot characters like Railgunner maybe, and Captain, who have to let go of their left click a lot. Or like Bandit and Artificer who have to reload. I mean, it wouldn't be that overpowered, because, like, it's not like you can just sit still and hold left click in Risk of Rain 2. Will it work on the burn for Artificer? Well, I'd imagine it would just apply it would just increase your damage. Or maybe it would only apply to your weapon damage, because it does just say max weapon damage. It is only adding weapon damage on the item, so... I'm gonna say... probably passable. Yeah, that's what I was thinking as well. From here on out, I'll say it for the video, anytime something mentions weapon damage, it's only going to increase your left click's damage, like your primary fire ability, your Commando double tap, your Hunter strafes, all those. So, your Captain Vulcan shotgun. Hey, can you guys tell I play this game fucking too much? Both of these games. Intensifying magazine, yeah, passable. We'll say passable for now, because it only applies to your left click damage, which would be nice after time, but we're gonna go to that. Okay. Kinetic dash, you cannot dash jump in Risk of Rain 2. Sorry. There is no dash jumping. Unless only Commando gets access to it. So, I mean, we could go ahead and skip down and get the other dash jump item out of the way as well. Surge, just get it out. We don't. There's no dash jumping in Risk of Rain 2. Sorry, bosses. Sorry, you two. We could probably go a little faster as well. Just kick some of them out. Like, all the melee items wouldn't do anything unless they only applied to melee abilities. Like, they'd be really powerful on Loader. We'll get there when we get there, actually. I do want to throw Titanic Magazine in Terrible as well, because it's the same as Extended Magazine. Wouldn't do a whole lot. Anyways, long range, reverse focus crystal. It's like a 7% damage. How much is it? It's like 15% damage increase to enemies that are farther than something. What is it? 40% weapon damage to people beyond 15 meters, so basically outside of the focus crystal range. Yeah, anyone outside it, yeah, this would be pretty good. But it is only weapon damage, remember that. It is only weapon damage. Yeah, I was gonna say, it's probably pretty good. Pretty decent, yeah. And it gives you less fall-off range, which some characters do have fall-off. We're gonna put it in probably passable. Or pretty good or passable, what we thinking? God damn it. Really good on all non-melee survivors, probably, yeah. And I think that's fine, because there's things like Focus Crystal, which are really only good on melee survivors. That's not true, but you know what I mean. I could see passable. Yeah, I'm gonna put it in passable just because it's weapon damage, but it would work. Passable exists as a tier to just be like, it would work, but we're not super confident in it, so I think I'll do that. Spirit Shredder bullets probably wouldn't work very well. I guess reducing something's spirit resist would make it slightly more susceptible to your other 3 abilities. So Spirit Shredder bullets would be, you shoot people and you get slight amounts of life steal from your abilities and slightly extra, and they become slightly weaker to those abilities as well. I think that's what Spirit Shredder would be. It kind of reminds me, Spirit Shredder bullets, it's like a really weak version of Symbiotic Scorpion is what it is. That's what it feels like, at least. We're gonna put it in bad, probably. Or, I don't know. So it becomes 8% more powerful to deal damage with your abilities, and you get 10% life steal with those abilities as well. I think it'd be a weird white item, I guess. I feel like that would fit as like a food item, almost, no? Yeah, we'll put it in bad. Bad is like, it would work, but we don't like it. Terrible is like, it would technically work, but is a debuff for it is a debuff for Deathmark. Silence everyone, the speedrunner's talking. And they're unfortunately right. But like, are we gonna rank something off of how it works with one specific item? I don't think we should. I think bad is fine, just because the stats, and also keep in mind that Spirit Rend exists, which is just even more. I'm gonna put here, that's the trade-off. We'll put Spirit Rend in passable and bad and Spirit Shredder in bad. Because Spirit Rend is just more. Back to it. Slowing bullets, we have Chronobobble at home, where Chronobobble always has a chance to slow. Slowing bullets would build up a slow. Yeah, it would be like a slightly worse Chronobobble, which is saying a lot because Chronobobble's useful for like 4 things. It's a Deathmark debuff, it stops E4, and that's like it. It makes you feel good, I guess. We'll put it in bad. Or should we put it in terrible? I don't think so. I think we'll put it in bad. It's like a normal... If we put rapid rounds in close quarters, which were items, but slightly worse, slowing bullets should be in bad. Recharging Rush probably wouldn't work, I think. Because there's no... I mean, there are charges of abilities, I guess. So dealing enough damage with your left click would activate charges? Would refill 1 charge if you had like backup mag or something? If that was the case, I think that would work. In fact, it would probably be about the same value, Recharging Rush would, as it is in Deadlock. Like, they'd be surprisingly similar in value. Where they're good, but they only exist as a support. Yeah, I imagine that... Yeah, see, we don't have a reference for that, because no Deadlock character has a charged primary fire, or as a charging primary fire, because that wouldn't really make sense, because it's not an ability. So we could just assume that it wouldn't apply to the primary fire, but yes, it would be insane on... Let's put it in pretty good. Let's put it in pretty good. I think I'm fine with that. Opening rounds, you deal 50% more weapon damage to enemies above half health. Yeah, well, to be fair, Crowbar applies to all damage. Remember that opening rounds, all these oranges that say weapon damage, opening rounds only applies to your weapon damage. It would only apply to your commando left click. Very powerful for like attack speed builds, but otherwise, I don't know. I'm gonna put it in bad. It would be good. It would be fine. It would be fine. I think it would be fine, but it would not work that great because weapon damage just isn't the same as all damage. Mystic Shot would probably work fine. Just a burst of damage every now and then. I mean, there are items that are kind of already like that. No? It's like an expedited version of Sticky Bomb. 8 seconds. Every 8 seconds you do a little burst of damage. Well, Sticky Bomb is S tier, but this isn't total damage. This is just flat damage. It's not quite the same as Sticky Bomb. Solid green. I feel like we're saying that for every item. Yeah, we'll put this in passable. Melee charge. We can say for melee items they only apply to melee abilities, so stuff like Loader Punch, all of Loader's fucking kit. Maybe it would apply to things like Rex's pushback ability. Does that, do we think that's melee? Oh, it'd be great on melee charge because it'd be, what is the specific stats? I think it's just a flat 30% increase. Yeah, it lets you melee farther. That doesn't do anything. It gives you 10% increased melee damage, and every 5 seconds your melee damage is increased by 25%. Yeah, it is kind of bad, but like, also Focus Crystal exists, so we don't really want to ignore that, you know? Let's put it in probably bad and just move on, I think. I do want to try to move through these a little bit quicker, just a tad bit quicker. Split Shot would be probably pretty bad as well, because remember that Split Shot would not apply to multiple procs, because you can only, you only deal one. It would work. It would just not be very good, because only one of the lines of damage can damage an enemy at a time, in Deadlock at least, so I think that's how we should make it work in Risk of Rain 2, even if it would be bad. Now, if Split Shot, excuse me, I have to sit bisexually. If Split Shot did apply procs with and damage with all 3 streams of damage, or all 5 streams of damage, it would be fucking insane. But because it only does 1, it's like, congrats, it's kind of easier to aim, and that's all it does, so let's put it in terrible. Swift Striker, yay. It's 20% instead. It's slightly better than a syringe, so I guess we can, if we're being honest, Swift Striker should go in passable, because it is technically on par and better than an item in Risk of Rain 2. Weakening Headshot, crits reduce your enemy's bullet resist, so your left click will do a little bit more damage after you crit them. It'd be fine. It'd be bad. It'd be bad, but it'd be fine. Like, I don't think anybody's arguing with it. And it would help for, like, total damage builds, but it would be weird. It would be, the devs would add Weakening Headshot and everyone would go, item bloat, oh my god, we have item bloat. That's what would happen. It's a fine item, but nobody needs it. Alchemical Fire, that's just, we have Molotov at home now. Just a big damage over time AoE. I think Alchemical Fire would be pretty good. I think we'd toss it pretty good. Be pretty decent. Now we have Imbue abilities, finally, our first Imbue ability. First for a while, because I think it's the only imbued weapon ability, or item. The Ballistic Enchantment item increases the range of one of your abilities, so like how big it is, and every time you hit something with that ability, you gain like 20% weapon damage per enemy you hit. Though, I will say, it does say that 5% to non-hero weapon damage. So technically, if we're going by the rules we set by having monster rounds in the top, Ballistic Enchantment would only apply its 5% weapon damage. Now, that would still be pretty good. You have 20% bigger abilities, which would only work on some characters, because some characters don't even have it. But, like, that's a 20% bigger Hacking Beacon range, you know? This is a 20% bigger Diablo Strike, you know? There's not a lot of... Not every character has AoEs, but those that do would feel good. And I wonder if this would apply to, like, the size of, like, Loader's punch hitbox and such. But we don't have to think that hard about it. I think it'd be passable. I think... Honestly, no, I'm putting it in pretty good. I'm putting it in pretty good. I think the added range would be kind of insane. Just a 20% increase of one of your abilities. Pretty good. And it's 22%, whatever. Berserker, probably impassable, just because it's only weapon damage. The more it's... every time you take damage over a certain threshold, you get a stack that increases your weapon damage by like 7%. It stacks up to like 10 times. So Berserker, I'm gonna toss in passable just because it's fine. It would be it'd be a pretty big increase after a while, but you don't really want to be taking damage in the game, and you take a lot less damage in Risk of Rain 2 than you do in Deadlock, I think. I mean, Blood Tribute would be pretty good, no? A toggleable equipment where Blood Tribute, you activate it, you gain attack speed and debuff resist, I think. It's a really random other stat. Let's see, yeah, it's, It drains your health, but you get 30% fire rate, 35% debuff resist, and a small movement speed buff. I think this would be fine. I think this would be pretty good. I'm going to put it in passable in the... I think I'm going to put it in passable. I think it would work as a weird equipment. Would it work with things that proc off damage? Oh, probably. I mean, if we're counting stuff like... fall damage activates that stuff, and Hellfire Tincture does. Wait, then it would be kind of insane, no? That's a good point. I'm gonna put it in pretty good. We're gonna put it in pretty good, because I don't know how insane it would be, and self-damage builds are only so good, because you have to get kind of a lot of items to make them work. So we're gonna put this in Blood Tribute, or the Blood Tribute tier. No, we're gonna put it in pretty good. Burst Fire, you shoot an enemy, you gain a pretty big burst of attack speed, and you slow the enemy, I believe, slightly? No, you gain a small amount of movement speed, and you gain fire rate after you shoot someone. That'd be a pretty good green item, yeah. That'd be a pretty good, fine green item. Attack speed on shooting someone. It's kind of like a weirder version of, what's it called? Predatory Instincts. Yeah, that's how Burst Fire works. I'm gonna put it in passable. I think it would work fine. Cultist Sacrifice is a really interesting one, because we were talking about this kind of yesterday. Cultist Sacrifice could kind of be a quantity over quality Trophy Hunter's Tricorn, if you think about it. Because Cultist Sacrifice does not work on mid-boss, so that kind of implies that it wouldn't work on bosses in Risk of Rain 2, but it does work on NPCs. So you could just use this on any mid-enemy, or mid-tier enemy, or, yeah, you know, mid-enemy. They heard me. They suck. But you could use that and you gain a bunch of money for him. You get 1.5 times the amount of money, and you get a bunch of nice little buffs on top of it. I think Cult of Sacrifice would be pretty good. Yeah, you get 10% weapon damage, that's whatever. 50 bonus health, wow, whatever. But 12% ability range. Oh boy. Oh, wait, we also forgot about Cult of Sacrifice passives, which are 30% weapon damage versus NPCs. So yeah, we'd probably pop that up there, just because the passives. Yeah, you could instant kill something, and also you'd have 30% increased weapon damage to just all enemies in the game. Escalating Resilience, the more you shoot enemies, you gain a stacking buff that increases your bullet damage, but enemies don't really have bullets, so in Risk of Rain 2. So we're probably gonna put this in terrible. I don't really know how that would work. Because enemies do have primary fires, so like the Lemurian fireball would do a little less damage to you. Reduce ranged damage, I guess, but that's like a really big... That's like most abilities in Risk of Rain 2, I'd say. Because every ability is either ranged or melee in that game, and that's a lot to get. I don't know. Escalating Resilience, I feel like I just kind of want to put it in bad in Risk of Rain 2 and just move on. Yeah, that feels like a little bit of a stretch, because it's weapon damage, it's not ranged damage. I'm gonna put this in bad, and I think that's okay. Express Shot, it's such a complicated item. On a cooldown, yes, it would be very strong on Railgunner, but I feel like I should make a separate tier for like good but only on like 3 characters. But still, because like stuff like Extended Magazine would be great on, and Titanic Magazine would be great on Railgunner. That's just double the charges on your left click on Titanic Magazine, at least. Express Shot though, on a cooldown, when you shoot, it shoots like another bullet after that does like slightly increased damage but takes more ammo. Oh yeah, it also increases your secondary fire damage. That is one thing to remember. And secondary fires are much more impactful in Risk of Rain 2 than they are in... so, yeah, your next secondary fire every 8 seconds would be 40% more powerful. I think that's okay. Yeah, we'll put this in pretty good. We'll put it in pretty good. Also, how would Express Shot work on melee survivors? You just get to swing again really quickly? I don't know. Headhunter, your next crit heals you and does increased damage. I could have sworn it was hit percentage damage, whatever. It is 4% of your health on heal every 8 seconds if you crit. So, this is kind of just a weirder Harvester Scythe, but it increases your damage as well. Solid green item, I think. I think we can accept this. I'll put it in pretty good. Heroic Aura, a equipment. All actives we're calling equipments, by the way, and same with the other way around. When we get to the Risk of Rain 2 tier, all equipments will be actives. You hit it, and all of your nearby allies, it would be good in co-op, all of your nearby allies, so all of your drones, all your teammate players, would get faster attack speed and bullet resist? Or no, it's just movement speed and attack speed. Yeah, so you activate it on 22-second cooldown. Very short for Risk of Rain 2, by the way. Everyone gains fire rate. Everyone gains a little movement speed buff. Wait a minute. We have Gorag's Opus already. This is just Gorag's Opus, but restricted by range. I forgot about that. Okay, we're gonna put it in... fucking bad, I guess. I don't know. It is a lower cooldown, that's true. Yes, it does apply to you and all of your team. All of the people around you. We could put it in passable. Is anyone gonna be mad at me if I leave it in bad? I'm just gonna put it in bad. Hollow Point's probably pretty bad as well. You had slightly increased weapon damage when above 75% health, and you reduce the enemy's bullet resist when you're above that health marker as well. I don't think Hollow Point would be very good. If it were you gain fully increased damage above that, then it would be good. But because it's only weapon damage, I think we have to keep it. God, we are an hour in the stream and we're still in the weapon items. This is going to be a long video. Okay. Hollow Point, we'll put it in. I'm going to put it in probably terrible, actually. I don't think it would be good. Yeah, no, I'm sorry. I'm trying to go as fast as I can, but there's a lot to think about here, okay? It's okay. I can edit out a lot in the background, I think. Hunter's Aura would probably also be terrible. Nearby enemies gain reduced attack speed and reduced bullet resist. Not very good. There are a lot of Deadlock. Yeah, well, wait until you see the Risk of Rain 2 tier list. We still have to get through this one as well. Kind of a lot going on. Okay, Point Blank. Literally, it's just close quarters again, but bad. Because it's only weapon damage, remember that, so... well, we'll just put it in bad if we put close quarters in bad. Anyway, Shadow Weave, you go invisible for a bit. A equipment in which you go invisible for a bit, and then when you come out, you have enhanced spirit power, I believe? What else do you have? Yeah, you become invisible for 13 seconds. We're not going to encounter spot radius, we're just going to say it's full invisibility, just for sake of saying, and you're faster. And then when you leave the invisibility, you gain 25% fire rate, 25% spirit power. So this first instance of spirit power, which is crazy. We made it into an hour into this thing, and only now we're talking about spirit power. Spirit power would just vaguely increase all of the damage of all of your other abilities that weren't your left click, I think. Out of combat regen is also very good, but like I said, we're not really going to worry about the passives as much unless they're like really obvious. A lot of items have out of combat regen. We're not going to... I think for sake of this video, we're going to ignore that because a lot of items... The regen rate in Deadlock is not the same as in Risk of Rain 2. Taking damage in Risk of Rain 2 is a lot more important and scarier. Yeah, I'm gonna put this... Honestly, it'd be a pretty good... We need an equipment that makes you invisible, I think. I think Shadow Weave would be fine. I'd accept it, you know? Okay, Sharpshooter, just a even better version of long range, but much more powerful. I believe it's like a 70% weapon damage increase. Good for long range characters. A ranged character is not good on melee characters. I'm fine with putting it impassable. It's literally just the upgraded version of long range, so more damage if someone's far away from you. I mean, testable bullet just is ukulele, kind of, but it only, yeah, that does only apply to your left click, so we'll put it in bad. It's good, but it's bad. It also is flat damage in Tesla bullets are. They are not percentage total damage. It's not 80% total damage like it is in Risk of Rain 2, so I'm going to put it in bad, because it's not very good. Yeah, just use the ukulele. Toxic bullets, after shooting an enemy for a little bit, they gain anti-heal and take damage over time. And the damage over time is based off of their maximum health, I think, right? I don't know, somebody can tell me otherwise, but I'm going to find it nonetheless. I believe it is... Yes, it's 1.5 or 1.7% of their maximum health over time. Pretty good. Pretty good. And it's not like tri-tip, because tri-tip you have is a chance. This, guaranteed. Any enemy you shoot for long enough will have it. So I'm going to put this in pretty good. I think it'll be pretty good. Weighted shots, pretty bad. 40%. It's slowing bullets, so I'm going to put it in bad. Weighted shot, it's just slowing bullets, but slightly more. It increases, it gives you the 40% bullet damage increase, which is nice, but not very good in Risk of Rain 2. And it also decreases your move speed slightly, weighted shots. It's one of the few items with a negative stat. Yes, it reduces your stamina recovery and slightly lowers your move speed, excuse me. I think, yeah, no, I'm fine with putting it where it is. It's going in bad. Armor-piercing rounds. Enemies do not have bullet resist. This would be terrible. Terrible in Deadlock, terrible in Risk of Rain 2. Just kidding. Armor-piercing rounds is very good situationally in Deadlock. We're gonna put it in terrible, I think, because it just wouldn't do anything. It just wouldn't really do anything. Capacitor is the same as Tesla bullets, except it's also an active that would also be useless, because all the active does is it's a skill shot that if you hit an enemy with it, they can't use stamina and are slowed a little bit. It wouldn't be good in Deadlock, because enemies don't have stamina, so, you know. Crippling headshot, critting an enemy reduces their bullet and spirit resist, so they're, by quite a lot, it's like 16% for each, and it applies, anti-heal, like 30% anti-heal. Is it though? If you crit an... Yeah, no, it would be pretty strong. It'd be pretty good for, like, a C-tier legendary, I think. I'm not gonna freak out when I get it, but it would definitely be nice on certain builds. Because it does apply... This would be all damage. So, effectively, if you crit someone, all of their damage... And it does not stack with itself. Like, you cannot crit them multiple times. That would be insane. In Deadlock, too, but... If you crit them, you get this one-time debuff where they do it. I'll put it in... We'll put it in pretty good. Crushing Fists. Every third melee hit stuns the enemy and does increased damage. What else does it do? And does increased damage. Yeah, heavy melee distance. 22% melee damage. So increased melee damage. It has the same passive as every 5 seconds you're damage. Yeah, it's bad, but it wouldn't be, miserable. Hey, it gives you 15% ammo, so actually it's overpowered. We're gonna put it in bad. I dare I say terrible, but we put melee charge in bad, and this is literally just the upgraded version of melee charge, so we're gonna put it there. Frenzy would be interesting. What are the specific stats of Frenzy? It's when you're below half, you gain move speed, 40% fire rate, and 40% debuff resist. Debuff resist isn't as powerful in Risk of Rain 2, because you can much more easily avoid being debuffed in Risk of Rain 2, I think. It would be good against a couple named bosses, and such. But, I mean, it'd be good. It'd be fine. We'll put it in passable, I think. Glass Cannon would be fucking terrible. It'd be really bad. Hey, you get 80% increased weapon damage. Pretty good. 15% reduced maximum health. Not so good. The attack speed wouldn't be bad on Glass Cannon. Every time you get a kill, you get increased attack speed. Okay, we'll get there when we get there. We will get there when we get there. Shape Glass, well, for one thing, Shape Glass does all damage. Glass Cannon is only weapon damage. That's why it's bad. Stop asking that like you're saying something smart, because you're not. Glass Cannon would only be weapon damage. We agreed on this. Why Iota? So I'm gonna say it wouldn't be good, because the trade-offs is just not worth it. Imagine if Shape Glass only increased your damage from your left click. Wouldn't be worth it. When damage is differentiated, makes us more... Yeah, because why wouldn't it? Well, because we have to differentiate it, because there are other items that increase all of your damage, like Rebuttal, which won't be able to do anything, but, you know, still. We could... I mean, while we're here, we might as well put Rebuttal in. Probably wouldn't work, because it probably wouldn't. Because there is no parrying. Unless it only applies to when you have, where is it? This one right here. The only parry. 15% reduction in health. Totally take 80%. Fair enough. I'll move it to bad. How about that? I'll move it to bad. Because I'm kind of seeing what you're saying. It is way less of a reward, but it is also way less of a risk. So it'd be like a really weird, like, stackable lunar item, I guess? I don't know. And the attack speed would be good. There's no denying that the attack speed would be good from Glass Cannon. Lucky Shot would be very powerful, no? Because it would just add to your... Even though it's only increased weapon damage, it would apply to total damage scaling. It's a double damage shot every now and then. You have a 25% chance for your bullets to do double damage, your left click to do double damage. Or 100% increased, technically. Double is insincere. Lucky Shot, we'll put it in... Pretty good. Pretty good. Ricochet would be fucking insane in Deadlock, or in Risk of Rain 2. Ricochet would be just beyond crazy. The proc chains go simply insane with Ricochet. Even if it's only your left click that is ricocheting, that's so much proc. It would be beyond. It would be beyond overpowered. Easily to say. Silencer, on the other hand, probably not too good. Because, I mean, I guess it would prevent enemies from attacking you for a bit. I guess we could put it in bad. I don't know. It's not really that valuable to stop one enemy from attacking you on the enemy team, or there's no enemy team, like an NPC from attacking you with Silencer. I don't think it would work very well. Work on bosses? It doesn't silence the mid-boss, so I guess no. That's the metric we've been using when talking about if it works on bosses, is if it works on mid-boss, and Silencer doesn't. It does not stop those. It only stops players from attacking, so we're just gonna say that all of the NPCs that are non-bosses, if you shoot them for a little bit, they can't fight back for like 4 seconds. Yes, no, it would be insane if it worked on stuff like False Sun and such. We'll put it in bad, because there's probably niche situations in which it saves your life, I think, so we're gonna put it in bad. Spellslinger would be really powerful, no? Dare I say overpowered? I don't know about overpowered, but probably pretty good. Every time you use an ability, you gain you gain reload speed, whatever, but you gain up to 60% increased attack speed. I think that the speedrunner said it would be pretty good, so I'll say it's that. That's all you exist to be here. Thank God you're here, because you probably know more about the game than I do, or at least how items interact with it. Thank God you're here. Thank goodness you're here. Great game, by the way. Spiritual Overflow, our final weapon item until we get to the legendaries. Spiritual Overflow. God, we're only just now finishing weapon items. It's fine. Spiritual Overflow. After shooting an enemy for a little while, you gain Spirit Power, which is nice. All of your abilities become slightly increased. You gain attack speed after shooting them. And other stuff also. Let me check. I don't play this game. Oh no, I was right. It's only those two. You get attack speed and Spirit Power after doing it, and we'll include the Spirit Lifesteal of it in this. So all of your abilities also have a slight amount of lifesteal. I think it'd be passable. I'm gonna put it in passable. Pretty good. Fine. Pretty good. Just because attack speed. Pretty good. Yeah. Extra health. Literally just 10 bison steaks. Literally just 10 bison steaks. Is that good? I don't know. Would be absolutely insane on Fall Sun. New food item, yeah. That is insane. Literally just 10 bison steaks would be fucking nuts. I'm gonna put it in... pretty... Dare I... Is it overpowered? Just 10 bison steaks. Could change the HP amounts to be more fitting. No, I want to keep this... I want to keep the note. That's the point, is... We're finding out how overtuned they would be. That's the fun conversation, is if we literally just took this item out of Deadlock and threw it in Risk of Rain 2, would it work? And I think extra health, I don't know. It's OP, yeah, that's true. If it is a level 1 item, so there is an argument for making it a white item, but we haven't followed that in the past for previous items, so I'm gonna say we're just gonna put it in pretty good. Because we could also assume that we have the power to balance where in the rarity it goes. It would be fucking insane on Fall Sun, but, you know. Extra regen, cautious slug, but it's always going. Pretty good. Extra regen, it'd be pretty good because it's literally just slug, but it's always active. I don't know, how insane would that be? It's hard to picture, really. Extra stamina probably wouldn't work. You could throw that in there. Healing Right would be pretty... I don't know, it'd be an interesting... It'd be a very weird active. Healing Right would be weird. It heals you for like about 50% of your max health, roughly. That it's a flat amount actually, but it's roughly about the same amount as it scales through the game. So we'll just say it's a roughly 50% heal. But if you take any damage from anything, it stops. Which I think is easier to do in Risk of Rain 2, because you can just hide, no? I don't know, I feel like we're kind of reinventing Bungus with Healing Right. I'm gonna put it in passable, because I feel like this could be really nice, because it does not stop if you attack someone else. That's important to remember. Worst Foreign Fruit, yes, actually, you're right, I forgot about Foreign Fruit. We'll put it in bad. We'll put it in bad. Yeah, we'll go with bad. Melee life still probably wouldn't... I mean, every, like, 3 seconds you get, like, a little healing. Where do we put Melee Charge? In there. We'll put this in terrible, probably. It works, but only on a few characters and isn't very powerful. Sprint Boots, it's the Goat Hoof. We have Goat Hoof. We'll put it in passable. Battle Vest. When you're above, like, 75% HP, you gain... Is it attack speed or is it weapon damage? No, it's weapon damage. You gain a slight amount of weapon damage and a small amount of fire rate. This would be pretty bad. Most of the, when you're above X health, you gain X buffs would be pretty bad. Yeah, I'm gonna put... dare I say terrible. The numbers are just really bad. Bullet lifesteal, I'm gonna put it in probably bad. Only your left click gains lifesteal. And it's only 19%. You're on commando, you gain 19% lifesteal on your left click, that's it. I think that'd be a worse. Would that be? Yeah, because it wouldn't apply to any of your procs or your abilities. So I'm gonna say bullet lifesteal, it would go there. Debuff reducer, just a flat 20%, 25% reduce, reduction in all damage you take, or not damage you take. That would be insane. In all debuff durations, I think. Not very good in Risk of Rain 2, I think. Not even that good in Deadlock. Let's be real. Enchanter's Emblem is the same as Battle Vest. It is slightly better than Battle Vest because at least the spirit power and cooldown reduction is at least a little bit better to have in Risk of Rain 2, but it's still very low numbers, so I'm gonna put it in terrible, I think. Enduring Speed, just the same as Sprint Boots, just slightly. A little bit of a bad thing. I mean, we could put it in bad. I don't know. It's just not gonna help. Enduring Speed, same as Sprint Boots. Guardian Ward, a equipment that you can place a shield on either yourself or your allies that gives them a little bit of a movement speed and barrier. But we'll just equate all shields to barrier right now. Because it wouldn't really make sense if it was shield in Risk of Rain 2. Guardian Ward will probably make... it would probably be pretty bad, I imagine. It does get half cooldowns if you put it on an ally, but it's still like... It's just barrier and movement speed, it's not that good. Healbane would be fucking insane. Not because of its anti-heal, but because of its heal on kill. 200 healing on every kill in Healbane. Technically it doesn't apply to NPCs, but like, we have in the past, yeah, applied it. Things that apply to players to NPCs. I'm gonna put Heal Bane in overpowered. Healing booster, just we have 1/5 of a 1/5 of a Rejuvac, and Rejuvac is already pretty bad, so I'm gonna put that in terrible. Reactive barrier, if you get stunned, you gain barrier. I don't think you get anything else, do you? Yeah, no, when you're stuck, you get barrier for you get barrier when you get stunned. Chained, immobilized, slept, or silenced. So if you're getting hit by any of those debuffs in Risk of Rain 2, first, be scared, because they don't exist. I mean, yeah, there's, freeze. If you get hit by freeze, this is gonna stop you. Or this is gonna give you a barrier, at least. I think that's the only one, but, you know. And there's also stuff like False Sun would be a little easier, because that's kind of silence. Just getting hit by the anti-ability thing. Probably still terrible, you're right. Yeah, you're right, but whatever. Restorative Locket probably wouldn't work because of the way it activates. You gain stacks every single time. Okay, I'm sorry. Insanely way too much music going on, and I can't focus. I also don't know if that song was okay for YouTube, but it's fine if it's not. I could just demonetize the video, I guess. Just live without it. But Restorative Locket, enemies nearby you, every single time they use an ability, you gain a stack, and then when you activate it, you gain a burst of healing and restore some stamina, but that doesn't apply to Risk of Rain 2. I'm gonna put Restorative Locket probably in bad, because the healing can be kind of a lot at times. I don't know how it'd work, but we don't have to worry about that. Return Fire would be pretty bad. Dare I say terrible. Wait, it's just far worse. It's activatable, worse Razor Wire. Yeah, no, I'm putting it in terrible. Spirit Lifesteal would probably be better than... Definitely be better than Bullet Lifesteal. All of your other abilities that aren't your left click gain 19%, I believe. Yeah, 19% Lifesteal. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. Because just something like the amount of damage you do in Risk of Rain 2 compared to how much enemies deal to you is a lot to think about. So I think Spirit Lifesteal would be very good for healing. I'll put it in pretty good for healing. Yeah, I'm gonna go with that. Spirit Shielding. If you take a substantial hit of spirit damage, you gain barrier. Probably pretty bad. Because, like, why would I want the barrier after I took the hit, you know? I'm just gonna assume spirit damage is any ability that isn't their, like, primary fire. Yeah, exactly. Insurance when you don't really need it. Trophy Collector, though, would be fine in Risk of Rain 2. You'd get it. You'd fill it up real quick. What are the buffs you actually get for it? Yeah, so every time you kill something, you gain a small amount of ability range, small amount of movement speed, and oh wait, actually it'd be insane because you get money over time. No, Trophy Collector would be nuts, no? Because it's just passive income? Yeah, no, I mean, hey, I think it would work. I think it'd be fine, the passive income. I don't usually think of the passive income because I play mostly Street Brawl, where Trophy Collector doesn't give you any money. I'm gonna put it in pretty good or overpowered. I think pretty good. I don't know, it'd be like $200 per minute. I think it would add up. I'm gonna put Trophy Collector in would be overpowered. I think that's the play. Weapon Shielding would be fucking garbage as well. Right next to. Right. Pretty bad. Bullet Resilience also pretty bad. Just resistance against enemy bullet resist. Counterspell probably wouldn't work because you don't have a parry. Dispel Magic, longer cooldown Blast Shower. Congrats, we've done it. It does heal you, whereas Blast Shower does not heal you. So maybe we'll put it in bad. I think Fortitude, far better version of Cautious Slug. When you're out of combat, you gain, I think it's like 3% of your max health is healing per second. I'll put it in probably pretty good. Probably pretty good. It also gives you a movement speed buff when you're above 75% HP. Overpowered? Where's the speedrunner? I need your opinion. If Cautious Slug healed you for 3% of your health over time instead of 3 over time, would it be, like, how insane would that be? It would obviously be better, but how much better? Yeah, we'll put it in overpowered. We'll put it in overpowered. Fine. Fury Trance would be fucking terrible. It's terrible at Deadlock. It's terrible at Risk of Raid 2. You activate it, you become silenced, so you can only use your left click, and you can't dash, but you gain, like, a slight amount of attack speed. What even is it? I hate this item. High key, I hate this item. Yeah, you gain spirit resist and fire rate, but you're silenced and can't run. So, no, it'd be terrible. We could make an actively detrimental tier, but I don't really feel like making an extra tier just for Fury Trance. Instant death. Yeah, no, I don't know about instant death, but it would be pretty bad. Healing Nova. Just sort of healing fruit, but it heals you and all your allies. Be pretty good. That'd be fine. I'll put it in passable. Passable is really just, it's about the same as an item we already have. For how terrible it is. No, I just hate Fury Trance in Deadlock already. Life Strike, where'd we put melee lifesteal? Yeah, bad. It's terrible. I mean, Life Strike would be kind of okay. I don't know. What are the specific stats? It just depends on how good it would be for melee survivors. So every 4 seconds, if you hit someone with your melee, they are slowed by 60%, you heal, and you heal both percentage of the damage, and you get a little bit of flat healing as well. Yeah, we'll put it in, like, bad. Sure, I'll accept. I'll put that there. Because it would be very good on melee survivors, but only melee survivors, because some characters don't even have any melee. You know, it'd be insane on Loader, but fuck, if you get this on, like, Commando, there's nothing you can do with it. Eclipse 3? Well, it depends on how you use it. If you just use it to get to high ground, I can't imagine it would do that much. And it does give you barrier. So, it does buffer you from fall damage if you use it. Majestic Leap. It'd be weird, but it'd kind of work. We'll put it in probably passable, I guess. It works, it just... Yeah, it works, it's just like, you're not gonna freak out seeing Majestic Leap. Metal Skin, probably the same area of bullet resilience. It would make you immune to all left click or primary fire abilities of the enemies, but it would be far worse face, by the way. The Majestic Leap wouldn't send you nearly as far. Metal Skin, I don't know what to think about it. All of the bullet resilience ones, I'm like, I don't know. That's one of the few things where it just doesn't apply. Rescue Beam would be pretty bad, I think, because you don't really need to save most of your allies. Most of your allies you can either buy back if they're drones, or they will naturally respawn. If you have... I don't even think it would be that good in multiplayer, no? Because, yeah, you could just grab a drone and be like, get the fuck back here. But, even in... like, allies, it only heals for like 20%. I don't know, maybe I could say, I don't know. We'll put it in bad and move on, I think. Spirit resilience, on the other hand, I think would be kind of insane over bullet resilience, because that's just like a 40% increase of resilience over all of your damage. Oh, all of the damage you take. That'd be really good. Yeah, I'm gonna put this in probably pretty good. Because it's hard to just... I'm not going to put it in OP if we don't fully know what it would do. So yeah, Stamina Mastery probably wouldn't work. You don't have stamina. Veil Walker probably wouldn't work. There are no veils in Warp Stone. Small teleport. When you come out of it, you gain a little bit of bullet resilience. We have Huntress Blink at home. Looking ass. We're going to put this probably in bad. It's a directional teleport, a one-time use. It'd be a weird equipment, but it would kind of work. What's the cooldown on it? Let's find out. 16 seconds. Every 16 seconds you get a dash. It's not good. I don't think it would be good. You get a teleport that gives you a little bit of bullet resilience. I'm putting it in bad. The teleport would still be nice. It'd be a movement ability option for characters without movement abilities, but still. Cheat Death, we have Dio's at home. Would it be better than Dio's? Just makes you immune to dying for, like, how long? How long is it? When you take lethal damage, become death immune and remove all non-stun debuffs. But you also get healing reduction and damage reduction while you are death immune. I'll put Chief Death in passable, because like it still saves your life, and that could be a lot, and in Risk of Rain 2, the enemies aren't going to chase you nearly as aggressively as they are in Deadlock, so I'm going to put Cheat Death probably in passable, and we're going to move on. Colossus, you gain size, you gain spirit and bullet resist, but they're the same amount, so you get like 35% damage reduction, just to overall. You gain increased melee damage, and you slow all enemies nearby you. Size increase does seem pretty bad. In Deadlock, it's not that big a deal because the size increase is like 20%, but in Risk of Rain 2, I don't think it would help. I think that would be actively detrimental. And but it wouldn't be worth because it's still 30% less damage taken overall. Because it does reduce all of your damage taken by 30%, 35%, I think. Yeah, 35% bullet and spirit resist, and it slows enemies near you, but that's whatever. I'm gonna put it in probably bad. Just the rewards are good, but they wouldn't, I don't know, it wouldn't be that good. Divine Barrier is kind of the same. It's kind of the same as wherever we put Guardian Ward, which I believe was in bad. Worst, yeah. Divine Barrier gives you a little bit of barrier and cleanses you from all debuffs. It's on like a pretty decently long cooldown if you use it on yourself, so I'm gonna say it's bad. It's just a worse blast shower, I think. Diviner's Kevlar, use your ultimate. Anything that applies to ultimate, we're gonna say it's the special ability, by the way. So when you use your special ability in Risk of Rain 2, you gain 1,000 barrier. For anti-heal cleansing, yeah, but like so would Blast Shower, which is on a much shorter cooldown. Yeah, Diviner's Kevlar would be fucking insane, I think. I think it would be overpowered. It also gives you 35 spirit power, just increases all of your other damage. So yeah, no, it'd be nuts. Healing tempo, when you're under the effects of healing, you gain slight amounts of move speed and attack speed, and your healing effectiveness is increased by a whopping 35%. Which is like a third of a rejuve rack. So, I don't know, what are we thinking? I have no idea what to think about healing tempo. When you're healing, and this does not apply to regen, by the way, it only applies to effects that outright add healing to your health bar, as opposed to somewhere else. Might be decent. Yeah, I was thinking passable. We'll put it in passable. Indomitable probably wouldn't work if we're saying reactive barrier only applies to like freeze, because that's the only it's the only thing we could think of. Yeah, Leeching Seed would probably make it OP, but I can move it to pretty good. We'll put it to pretty good. I'll allow that. Indomitable probably wouldn't be that good just because there's so few stuns to the player in Risk of Rain 2. I keep wanting to say Rainbow Six Siege, and I know that's wrong, but that's crazy. Indomitable's probably the biggest example of like how good an item is in Deadlock compared to how terrible it would be in Risk of Rain 2. Risk of Six Siege, yeah. It's about where I'm gonna put this in terrible just because there's like 4 stuns total. I guess it could apply it could apply to like being hit by Malachite. It could be applied to being hit by like slow effects. If you get hit by a slow, you get the Indomitable stack, but we're kind of pushing it. Infuser. Upon activation, you gain like 80% spirit lifesteal and increased spirit power, slightly increased spirit power. It would just be like Supermassive Leech, but even better, I think. What is Supermassive Leech's healing percent? I never fucking picked that item up. Oh, 20% of the damage? Yeah, no, it would be. To be fair, this would only be for... Yeah, I know, I never use it. But Infuser would only apply to your 3 off abilities that are not your left click, but it's still 70% lifesteal, which would be insane in Risk of Rain 2. I'm gonna put it in probably pretty good. Inhibitor. After shooting an enemy for a little while, you gain... They have their healing reduced by 40% and their damage output reduced by 40%. How would Inhibitor be? What are we thinking? Because I just have no idea. How would reducing the enemy's damage dealt V. Yeah, 40% in reduced damage while the debuff is active. Yeah, I suppose it would be good against bosses. Healing wouldn't matter too much. Yeah, the anti-heal on enemies really doesn't matter. But the damage reduction, oh, we'll put it in pretty good. We'll put it in pretty good and move on. Juggernaut would not be very good, I think. If an enemy shoots you, they have their attack speed reduced. But yeah, Juggernaut I don't think would be very good. We'll put it in bad, just because enemies who hit you have their attack speed reduced? Okay. Oh well, I guess. Attack speed reduction is actually a buff sometimes. It's so scary for the enemies. This is speedrun talk. I don't understand. I don't understand these newfangled speedrun talk. Leech would be beyond overpowered. Even if it was like 10% lifesteal total, it would still be nuts. But it's like 25%, I believe. What's the exact values? Yeah, 25% spirit lifesteal and bullet lifesteal. You're gonna get all the healing you could ever need. Phantom Strike. You target an enemy, you teleport to them, you bring them down if they're airborne to the ground. So this would apply to airborne enemies. They get slowed and you deal like a burst of damage. Phantom Strike is. I'll put it passable, I think. It'd be an interesting way to that would be an interesting equipment, a movement equipment that only works if you tether to enemies. And it only kind of works on nearby enemies. It's not a super big range. I'm gonna put it in passable. I think it's fine. Stupid flying lunar. Yeah, you could use it on lunar chimeras and keep them stuck to the ground. Plated armor. Nothing. Same as bullet resilience. Just a chance to completely avoid bullet damage, but I don't think that'd be very good. Siphon bullets would be nuts, no? I don't know if it'd be overpowered, but it'd be very powerful. Bullets you hit, or primary attacks you hit, steal maximum life or maximum health from the enemy and apply it to you for an amount of time. It'd make fighting a lot easier and sustain a lot easier, I think. Yeah, no, it would be kind of nuts on like False Sun as well. I'm gonna put it in pretty good because I just don't know how exactly it would work. I don't think it would be overpowered. It might be overpowered in Risk of Rain 2, but I'm gonna put it in pretty good just because I don't know how it would work fully. Max HP steal for it? Yeah, no. Well, it is a flat number of max HP is steal. It is not like 1% of the enemy's max. Yeah, it's only. Oh no, never mind. It is 5%. I thought it was flat number. That might be overpowered then. What are we thinking? Pretty good, overpowered? I don't know. I want to put it in pretty good. Okay. I don't know how that would work. It's one of those ones that's just really hard to visualize, I think. So, yeah, 2.5% would be very good. Spellbreaker would be very good defensive item. The next big hit of enemy damage you take is reduced by like 60%, but it's on like a 8-second cooldown or something. I don't know. I think this would be very good. I think this would pop that there. Save you from one-shots a lot. But what about one-shot protection? Doesn't exist. It's a myth. We gotta hurry up. Unstoppable becomes CC immune for amount. It wouldn't be that good because there's not that much CC, but it does stop like all slow effects and such. Maybe if you pop this before False Sun hits you with his silence, it would help, but I don't know. What are our thoughts on Unstoppable? Anything? Any ideas? Yeah, I'm that's exactly what's going on in my brain as well. It's just, You'll still, yeah, exactly. You'll still be getting hit. I'm gonna put it in bad, just move on. Because some of these items are very specifically, like, counter items in Deadlock, designed to counter specific enemy attacks, whereas in Risk of Rain 2, it's just sort of general enemy damage that happens. Vampiric Burst would be a worse version of Infuser. Infuser we put up in pretty good. I'd say Vampiric Burst. It's 80% bullet lifesteal while you activate it, and you get increased attack speed. So it's sort of just like Gorag's Opus, but it gives you 80% lifesteal on only your bullet damage, though. Passable. I'm thinking passable. Yeah, I agree. Witchmill would be kind of nuts, no? Because it's a minimum... Doesn't it have a minimum amount of reduced cooldown? Yeah, no, every time you take heavy hits of damage, you get 4% 4 seconds of cooldown reduction on a random ability cooldown. I feel like Witchmail would be surprisingly balanced of a. I feel like it'd be like pretty good, but not insane. I don't think it'd be nuts. Any self-damage? Well, Witchmail does not apply to self-damage in Deadlock, so I don't think we get to say it. Yeah, I think it's applies to only enemy hits. Finally, onto the spirit items. We still have the legendaries after this. Okay, let's try to go through these. Extra charge. Any ability that you have that already has a charge on it would have its charge account increased by 1. I think it'll be fine. If you have like 1 backup mag, your secondary gains a charge. If you have charged abilities, yeah, I'd say passable. Put it on passable. Extra spirit, just like a flat, tiny damage upgrade. We'll put it in. Right now, we'll put all the spirit items, improve spirit, and Boundless Spirit would probably be in pretty good, I imagine, but these two are just like, they're just minor damage increases. It's impossible to know how much they would be. They'd probably be like 10 to 20% of just flat damage increases of your abilities, and then Boundless Spirit's like a 25% increase of your all of your spirit damage, so all of your ability damage, so we'll pop it in there. Egg would be kind of insane, I think. I think the way it would work in Risk of Rain 2 is if you activate it, it would be a toggleable, right? If you activate it, or no, actually no, it'd work the same, no? It just, when you picked it up, you gain a flat 10% damage reduction, but it builds up money over time, and permanent buffs. I think Egg would be pretty fine. I think it'd be pretty good, because you'd gain money, you gain permanent buffs, which are very powerful, I think. Permanent buffs would be pretty nuts in the game. Mystic Burst, you gain a flat increase of damage on top of any big hits of spirit damage you deal. I'm gonna put this right next to Headshot Booster, or in the same range as Headshot Booster, because they're basically the same idea of just extra hit of damage if you deal a bunch of damage, God, this stream is flying by. Mystic Expansion, choose 1 ability to gain a slight amount of range. Pretty good, I think. I think that's pretty good. I think Mystic Expansion, just range, I don't know, range is hard to measure in Risk of Rain 2. A lot of abilities are limited by range, yeah. Imagine this on, like, Seeker. Just really big rotating orbs around you. We'll put it there. I think that's fine. Mystic Regeneration. When you deal spirit damage, so damage with your abilities, you gain a slightly increased passive regen. Mystic Regeneration, I think, would be pretty strong. It's regen as you do damage. I feel like you wouldn't notice it, but it would do a lot. I put it in passable as well. A lot of the spirit bullets things. Except for Rusted Barrel, which would work. You target an enemy, you reduce their attack speed, and that's kind of it. You reduce their attack speed, I think you reduce their bullet resist as well. Is that what Rusted Barrel does? Yes, you reduce their bullet resist and attack speed. Fucking awful and thing. Spirit Strike would also be pretty bad, because it's just a worse version of melee charge. Bullet resist shredder is probably pretty bad. Spirit damage you deal reduces the enemy's bullet resist. Whatever. Cold Front would be an interesting attack active, or an interesting equipment. You pop it, just a burst of damage around you, and it slows everything. Maybe passable. What did I do? Oh, there we go. We'll put this in passable. Cold Front, at least. Imbue cooldown. Choose an ability, reduce its cooldown by, like 18% or something. Passable. I agree. Passable. Duration extender would be overpowered? Cooldown 1 ability? I'm gonna say, we're gonna say that one's overpowered when superior cooldown and transcendent cooldown exit. And also, transcendent cooldown, we know exactly how it would be, by the way. We'd put it in pretty good, because it's literally just Alien Head, no? What Alien Head, is that 20% or is it 25%? If it's 25%, they're literally the same ability. Yeah, it's 25%. Yeah, I think Transcendent cooldown would be in Well, then, wait, actually, in that case, it would probably be worse. Because Transcendent cooldown is... Passable is supposed to be items that are just the same as normal. It is better, yeah, that is true. Compress cooldown only applies to the ability, so actually we're going to move Compress cooldown to bad, and then Superior cooldown we'll probably put in Passable. This seems like the natural progression of things. I'm fine with it. we don't have to think about it that hard. This is just for fun. How about Duration Extender, though? Is ability duration as valuable as cooldown reduction? Superior duration would be great, because that would apply to items as well. It would apply to the bleeds, your burns, all that. But Imbue Duration Extender would only apply to your... Yeah, I was going to say, it would only apply to abilities. So we'll put it in Passable, I think, and then we'll put Superior Duration in. Pretty good. I think that's good. I think I'm okay with that. Mystic Slow, fine. Passable, whatever. Not game-changing. That's pretty fine. Mystic Vulnerability, just a flat 8% increase in all of your ability damage. I think it's also going in Passable. Or it reduces the enemy's resistance, technically, to your spirit damage, but, I mean, it's kind of the same thing. It's just increasing your damage done to them by 8%. Quicksilver Reload probably wouldn't work, because most characters don't need to reload, but technically it would work for, like, Bandit and Artificer. You imbue an ability, and when you use it, you reload the ability, and the ability does, like, slightly more damage. And you gain slight amount of attack speed, so I guess it would work on everyone, but only for the attack speed. Slowing Hex would be bad. It would... I'm gonna move, sorry, Quicksilver I meant to put in bad, but Slowing Hex would be bad. Choosing one enemy to slow, instead of using Mystic Slow to completely slow everything in front of you, not worth it. And enemies don't really have movement abilities you can stop, depending on the enemy. And only choosing one of them, like, I don't know. Maybe if you threw this on Mithrix, he wouldn't be able to dash, but I don't think that's how that would work. Okay. Spirit Sap also would be pretty bad. You choose one enemy. Seems okay, yeah, but, like, that's a very specific use case of it. We can put it... I can put it in bad. I think that's fine. Spirit Sap, you reduce the enemy's outgoing damage for a little bit, but you only get to choose one enemy, so I think it'd be pretty bad. Like, why reduce the enemy's damage outgoing damage to then just, like, fucking kill them, you know? Like, why would you rather have this than, like, anything up here, you know? Suppressor would also be pretty terrible. Dealing spirit damage reduces their attack speed. Not great. Decay, pretty decent damage over time, and really strong anti-heal against an enemy. Not as useful in Risk of Rain 2 as it is in Deadlock. Not as useful, I think. I'm gonna put it in bad. 70% anti-heal is helpful, but, like, enemies don't really heal that much in Risk of Rain 2, and the damage over time is not that powerful. It's, like, roughly 20% of their health. I don't know. It could be good. I'm just gonna put it in bad, because I don't know how it'd work. Disarming Hex would be fucking awful. Congrats, you choose one enemy to not be able to shoot you. Wow. Greater Expansion would be very, very powerful, probably. Put in pretty good. Just all of your abilities gain, like, 30% range. Become 30% bigger. I think that also applies to items as well. Greater Expansion does, so it'd be pretty good. Knockdown would not be very good, I imagine. I'll put it in bad? I don't know. It's just a timed stun on an enemy, and would bring down airborne enemies, so you could use this on, like, a Xi Construct or something to bring them down to the ground. Put it in bad, I think. It's not that creative, but whatever. Radiant Regeneration, it would be very powerful. Every time you use an ability, you heal for 100 health, yeah. We're gonna pop that in. Pretty good, I think. I think that's about where we're going. Spirit Snatch, same story as Spirit Strike, not very good. You melee them and you deal an extra bit of damage, but you steal Spirit Resist from them. So that'd be kind of nice. I don't know, if you melee someone, you deal more damage to them, kind of, but only with your abilities. It'd be weird. I'm gonna put it in bad. I don't think it'd be terrible. It'd be... I don't know, because it wouldn't even be that good on melee enemies. I'm gonna put it in terrible, I think. I'm gonna put it in terrible. Silence Wave is the same story as Disarming Hex. Except you can hit a bunch of enemies, just sort of silence a whole group. And it does damage. We might as well put it in bad. They are very strange to think about how they would work in Risk of Rain 2, because most melee characters would be fine with it, I guess. I don't know. Rapid recharge. Same as extra charge, but better. Every charged ability gains 2 charges, and the charges become pretty significantly stronger. They gain damage, and they gain like slight amount of cooldown reduction. I'm gonna put rapid recharge in pretty good. Surge of power. Choose an ability. Every time you use it, you gain attack speed, movement speed, and it has like a little bit of an extra damage. It's pretty good. It's just a flat buff every time you use a certain ability. Yay. Tank Buster. I personally don't ever use Surge of Power in anything. Tank Buster would either be in pretty good or passable. We put Mystic Burst in passable. Tank Buster does do percentage of their maximum health, or their current health rather. I'm gonna put it in pretty good, just because it'd just be a huge hit of damage if you already did damage. Torment Pulse, that'd be pretty good, just constant, I mean, it's kind of just always active but slightly weaker Tesla Coil, no? We'll put it in pretty good. I think that makes sense. Be about the same. Arctic Blast would be a lot of fun. It's the same as Cold Front, but it freezes enemies when it hits, which freezing enemies is a lot more powerful in Risk of Rain 2 than it is in Deadlock. It's a shame literally only one of the items does it, but still. Cursed Relic, choose one enemy. They can do fucking nothing for 4 seconds. Literally at all. I mean, it'd be kind of good against bosses, but like... You damage sources. No, we don't. Cursed Relic is hella funny for Mythic. Yeah, exactly. You just stop him from doing anything. We'll put it in passable. I think it would work, but it would really only work against bosses and like boss fights. Echo Shard. I don't know how Echo Shard would be an equipment that you imbue an ability with. I don't know how that would work, but you imbue an ability, and every time you activate your equipment, it would refresh the cooldown every 20 seconds. I don't know, none of the cooldowns are that long in Risk of Rain 2. I don't think Echo Shard would be that powerful. I'll put it in passable, I think. It'd be helpful to be able to use an ability twice really quickly, but because that's the value of it in Deadlock. More than good? Do you want to say pretty good? I don't know. I don't think it'd be that insane. Just being able to use an ability twice in rapid success. But you can already do that if it has charges, so... I don't know. Escalating exposure would be nuts. The more spirit damage you do to enemies, the more they take. Yeah, honestly, escalating exposure would probably be overpowered. If you have any burn or bleed, escalating exposure would just get insanely powerful. It's just the more damage they take over time, the more damage you deal to them. Ethereal Shift, become untargetable and incorporeal for like 4 seconds, and when you come out of it, you gain buffs. Ethereal Shift, probably pretty good, right? Just a quick dodge. I don't know. I feel like this would be great for speedrunners now. Just the ability to just stop taking damage permanently for like 4 seconds, and then you come out of it with some decent buffs. Refresher, it's just Echo Shard for your whole kit. I don't think Refresher would be that good, because we don't have ultimates, really. Unless this would refresh charges on, like, stuff like Hacking Beacon, where you can get back the charges and have more than you actually have. Refresher, I'm gonna put in passable. Yeah, I don't think it would help that much. I don't think so. Mystic Reverb, imbue an ability with like 30% lifesteal, and after you deal damage with it, it does like delayed 50% of the damage and slows any enemies it hits. Mystic Reverb would be pretty powerful. Just the 30% lifesteal alone on a particular ability would be pretty powerful. But also the delayed 50% extra damage would be pretty powerful as well. I'm gonna put it in pretty good. Mercurial Magnum. Imbue an ability. Whenever you use it, you reload the ability, or you reload your weapon, and the ability does like a little bit extra damage. And after excuse me, after you use the ability, your bullets also deal an extra bit of spirit damage. I think Mercurial Magnum would be pretty good. I think it'd be fine. It'd be a solid, like, legendary item. Every time you use a certain ability, your bullets deal extra damage. And, I mean, the reload aspect would be useless, but the rest of the kit would be fine, because it's still like a 22% increase in attack speed as well. Magic Carpet would probably be overpowered. It's just, we have, it's just Volcanic Egg on steroids, I think. And also, if we include the passives of Reduced Gravity, yeah, I think Magic Carpet would unironically be overpowered. I know it's funny to be like, oh, Magic Carpet overpowered, but like, I genuinely think it would be for a great movement equipment ability. Lightning Scroll, damage you do with your ultimate, which in Risk of Rain 2 cases is, it's special. Damage you deal with your special stuns enemies after a delay and deals like a burst of damage with the stun. I'd say it's passable, but like some specials don't even deal damage, so, and this only procs if you deal damage with the special, so I'm gonna put it in passable and we're gonna move on, I think. Focus Lens, pick an enemy, it'd be very powerful against bosses. You pick an enemy, they become silenced, so they can't use abilities, they can still use left click. And they, after the duration ends, they take an additional burst of damage equal to 30% of the damage that was dealt to them while they were under the effects of the Focus Lens. I'm gonna put it in probably pretty good. This would be very powerful against bosses, but not against most things. Yeah. Network Suffering, yes, but it only applies to one enemy at a time. Network Suffering would apply to, obviously applies to like most, a bunch of enemies, so like 4 or 5 at a time. Focus Lens would be 1. I'm gonna put it in pretty good. I don't think it would be insane, because I think Network Suffering already exists, and I think it would be better. Scourge. Target either an ally or yourself. It gives you an aura that does, like, damage based on your maximum health. And I think it slows? I don't know, actually. I'd never used Scourge, because it's like a support item, but also a tank item. It's weird. Yeah, it does damage based on your max health and gives you spirit resist. It'd be passable, I think. It'd be passable. It's an aura of damage. Your max health isn't that much compared to the enemies in Risk of Rain 2. I think I'll put it in passable. Spirit Burn would probably be pretty good. If you do a big burst of spirit damage or ability damage in this case, you cause an explosion that, one, applies anti-heal with whatever, but it does damage over time to all enemies in the radius. Would be crazy for proc coefficients, I imagine, or proc chains. Put it in pretty good. I don't imagine it would proc anything else, but, you know. Vortex Web would probably be whatever. It's just a... Vortex Web would just be a worse Primordial Cube, so I'm gonna put it in bad. I don't think Vortex Web would be that good, because Primordial Cube holds them together for like 8 seconds or 10 seconds or something. Vortex Web would just yoink them all together once and slow them, and that's it. I don't know. Vortex Web might have a bigger range, though, but it's hard to compare. Infinite Rounds. Probably pretty useless. Hey, Bandit and Artificer can shoot constantly without stopping, but most other characters don't even need to reload, so it's like, whatever, right? That's our first legendary, too. And it also has armor-piercing rounds as a secondary. I'm gonna put it in... Yeah, it would be really powerful on the characters it would be really powerful on, but everyone else it would be pretty useless. Pretty similar to how it is in Deadlock, so we'll put it in bad. Runed Gauntlets, probably pretty terrible, because only melee characters could get use out of it, and even melee characters probably wouldn't get out. I'll put it in bad. If you deal melee damage every, like, 9 seconds or so, or not really, it's like every 4 seconds, you reduce your cooldowns, all of your cooldowns by, it's like 16% every time you deal melee damage, so that would be insane on melee characters, but useless on everyone else, because they can't even melee. And it pierces through parry. Cloak of Opportunity. We have Ben's Raincoat at home. That'd be pretty bad. Only applies to hard stuns. If you get hit by a stun, that you get a barrier and you become unstoppable for a short amount of time. It would make you effectively CC immune permanently for the rest of the game, but Not to, it wouldn't stop like slow abilities. It only stops like hard CCs, like silences and stuns. So I'm gonna say Cloak of Opportunity would be pretty bad. Eternal Gift would be nuts, because you don't die often in Risk of Rain 2. I'm gonna put Eternal Gift, dare I say, in Overpowered. Just constant passive buffs, even if it's like 2.5% attack speed, 50 HP or something like that, it'd be insane over time. Because it's every 2 seconds, it's nuts. Nullification Burst would probably be useless. It just prevents enemy healing and stamina usage to anyone it hits nearby, which is not helpful to you. Seraphim Wings would be beyond overpowered in Risk of Rain 2. Very polarizing the legendary items are, aren't they? Random common item, that would be insane, but I think it would give... I don't see why it couldn't just give passive buffs like it does in Deadlock. But Seraphim Wings would be insane. You get, like, massively reduced gravity, infinite... the stamina usage doesn't apply to Risk of Rain 2, but it's not like you need it. And you get 40% increased damage and 40% increased damage reduction to your damage taken while you're airborne. Seraphim Wings would be fucking insane in Risk of Rain 2. Yes, Eternal Gift would be broken. Well, I don't know if it would... I don't know if the permanent buffs it grants would apply as something the Growth Nectar would read. I think it would just apply to stats. I think Eternal Gift would just apply to stats. I don't think Shadow Strike would even work, because you can't use stamina, so... I'm gonna put stamina... that one probably wouldn't work. Same with Electric Slippers, since there's no sliding. No sliding, so we can get those out of the way real quick. Yeah, for Commando Slide, for the 1.5 seconds it lasts. Wouldn't deal that much damage. I'm gonna say just a hard no on Electric Slippers. Haunting Shot probably wouldn't be good. Yes, it would increase the slide distance by 80%, but even then, it's one ability. We can... Fine. I hope you're happy. Anyways, Haunting Shot. Not very good, I think. Well, no, it would be pretty good, because of the added damage aspect. So every, like, I think it's 2.5 seconds. Every 2.5 seconds, your next bullet, or left click, deals 10% of the enemy's current health in damage, is bigger and pierces, and it applies anti-heal. I think it'd be pretty good. I think I'd put Haunting Shot in pretty good. I don't think it'd be overpowered. I just had to crack you guys hear me cracking my knuckles? Look, it's cold down here, and the pressure is weird, so... I'm in a basement. Yeah, I hope you're happy. You like that? That's being cut out of the video for sure. Celestial Blessing, a global heal for you and all your allies that cleanses them and heals them for like 400. It's more like roughly like 30% of their health. And it's on a pretty short cooldown. It's on like a 30-second cooldown. I'd say it's pretty good. Heals you and all your team for a burst. It's like Healing Fruit, but it heals everyone for less, but it also cleanses. And it also gives you a movement speed buff for like a second. Mystic Conduit would be beyond overpowered. 40% cooldown reduction and ability range, and every single time you deal a burst of ability damage, you heal for a shit ton. Mystic Conduit, without a question, would be insane. Mystical Piano, because it doesn't deal damage, it wouldn't be able to proc anything. I don't think it would be that good. Yes, a massive group stun would be helpful, but it wouldn't be game-changing. I'm going to put it in pretty good, because I don't think it would be that. I don't think it would be overpowered, like it is in Deadlock. I hate that item. Omnicharge Signet, probably passive. Crazy with Deadlock. Yeah, we are slowly learning, aren't we? Omnicharge Signet, Imbue an ability, it gets charges. This applies to even items that don't already have charges like the other charged abilities, so it gains charges and becomes much more powerful and has a much shorter cooldown. I think we have to put this probably pretty good because it's only one ability. It really depends on the ability. I don't know. It's 4 backup mags and all of the backup, and it gains... It's 4 backup mags and it gives you a big boost. I don't know. Is it overpowered? I don't want to put something in overpowered if we're not confident in it. We'll put it in overpowered. It's probably safer to say that'd be busted. Also, unstable concoction we can easily put in terrible. It kills you. You're not making it out, buddy. Hey, congrats, you get to kill. I mean, if you have a Dios, unstable concoction's great, but not so good. Not so good. Prison Blast would be very good, yes. Just an area of effect damage, and you're incorporeal. You can't take damage during it. Be very powerful. Dare I say overpowered. Shrink Ray. You become tiny and you become real fast. Yeah, I am also more familiar with items, and I have like twice the amount of hours in Risk of Rain 2, so that's why I put it second. I'm gonna put Shrink Ray in pretty good. You would be a lot harder to hit. I don't know. Hey, speedrunner, you still here? Confused. You still about? How much would be in decreasing your character size by, drumroll please, 50%? Would being half the size make you that much more powerful? Probably better than anything else, and yeah, okay, fair. I think it would, yeah, you're half the size and you're much faster, so I think you wouldn't be being hit by a whole lot. And then finally, Frostbite Charm. Choose an ability. Every time you hit someone with it, it does a big burst of damage, and it freezes them. And it also has half cooldown. So one ability becomes very overpowered, and it freezes enemies. I think Frostbite Charm would be nuts. I think it would be nuts. Yeah, freeze is just a very powerful ability to have. And we have it. Yay, we did it. Here, I'll do for the video, I'll do a slow scroll past. Here's our ability. Pause if you want to see it. Just have this go real quick. Pleasing, finally, we make Flamethrower good. And pretty good. The items that are passable, that are good, but probably very similar to items that are already in the game. Yeah, sorry, cry about it. I need to make money. I don't know if you'll make it through. Bad Naruto. Items that would work, but probably wouldn't be too good or are worse than pre-existing ones. Terrible. Items that would work, but why would you ever take them? And probably wouldn't work. Items that require Deadlock exclusive features, such as parrying, stamina usage, or dash jumping. Or, in Veil Walker's case, Veils, which don't exist in Risk of Rain 2. And now we're on Risk of Rain 2 items, so we kind of want to have the same things, so in Deadlock, so quickly, we're going to go through all of the ones that just wouldn't work at all. Period. Just wouldn't work. Well, we're just going to find the ones like, for example, beads wouldn't work, because not necessarily, because no, I think it would. I think he would. A random box spawns around the map, you go find it, you get a random item. I think it'd be pretty good. It wouldn't be healthy for the game, because it would have someone just going around randomly searching the map. But I think it would work, which is what matters. I just want to scroll through, find all the ones that literally do nothing. Like the Cerebellum wouldn't do anything. What about the keys? We talked about this just a second ago. I have reasoning for it. Just give it a second. Credit card would absolutely work. 10% refund on all purchases? It'd be nuts. We'll get there when we get there, though. Oh, true. Elite kills? Yeah, we can remove that. And on elite kills, yeah, I don't think those would work, would they? I mean, we could say that on elite kills it's on player kill, but that would also not apply for on kill, so... Oh, yeah, the scraps, probably. I'm gonna say every time, for interactables, it's gonna be every time you use the shop. X happens. Yes, so yeah, we want the anti-elite kills, so Wake of Vultures, one of them. Brain Stalks, get that out of here. Defense Nucleus is elite kills. I never use this item, that's why I forgot it existed. We'll say drones apply to, like, nearby minions. How about that? Like, minions that are in your lane have the effect. They're considered your allies. I think I'm okay with that. Anyways, let's get to it. Let's get to it, finally. Starting off. Syringe. Literally just twice, Now here's a problem that we've already run into, is a big major factor of the value of Deadlock items is their price. I guess we could try to equate commons are level 1, greens are level 2, or no, I don't know how that would work. I don't know, the value of a common item, I think, is more valuable to in Risk of Rain 2 than the value of a level 1 item is in Deadlock. Yeah. So I'm gonna say commons are level 2, uncommons are level 3 items, and legendaries are level 4 items. And then, as for the rest, we'll just sort of fucking wing it, I guess. I don't know. We'll just wing it. We'll try to take it purely off of how good they would be, just on their own. Yeah, so effectively twice of rapid re-rounds. I'd put that in pretty good. Multiples like ROR2? No, I think we would be going off of these can't stack like they could in Risk of Rain 2. They would not stack in Deadlock, for this hypothetical. Overpowered, yeah, 10% chance to just completely avoid damage. Yeah, I think safer spaces would be insane. We'll put tougher times in pretty good. Monster Tooth, it's kind of just Graves passive, where every time a monster dies near you, you get a small amount of healing. I think Monster Tooth would be a kind of an insane amount of healing. We'll put it in pretty good. That'd be like a solid tier 2. Is all monsters nearby that die give you like 15 healing or something. I think it'd be pretty good. Crits. I mean, we made it so that headshots were crits in Risk of Rain 2, but I think we're gonna have to make crits their own thing from going from Risk of Rain 2 to Deadlock. So I'm gonna say crit goggles add their own thing. You get a 10% chance to crit things which do that are not headshots. You can now headshots. Yeah, I guess. Your bullets have a 10% chance to do double damage. This is just a slightly worse lucky shot. I'll put it in pretty good. Just a flat 15% movement speed. We'll put that in passable, because I think there's faster items than the 15% increase of Gotov. Headshots count as crits then? Yeah, I don't know. My hypothetical is breaking. I think they should be made to work with headshots. I agree, but I don't know how that would work. Maybe, I don't know. This hypothetical is not as easy as I expected it to be. Crit just forces headshots. Yeah, I guess. We'll just say 10% of your body shots become headshots. Even if you miss headshot, yeah. It just wouldn't apply to headshots. I'm kind of disappointed in that, but it's fine. It's fine. Bungus would low-key be kind of nice in Deadlock. I mean, we have healing, right? It would just be sort of always active healing, right? Where you just need to step aside for a moment, go get your healing, and then join the fight again. I think it would be perfectly fine. It is kind of low, but isn't it percentage health? Doesn't Bungus do percentage? Am I wrong? Yeah, it's 4.5. Yeah, no, it is not that low. 4.5% of your healing per second after standing still for only a second. I think Bungus would be very powerful, because healing in Deadlock is kind of insane. It's a lot more useful than healing in Risk of Rain 2 is. I think Bungus would be very powerful. Crowbar. You deal 75% increased damage to enemies above 90% health. That'd be helpful in Deadlock. I don't think it'd be insane, though. Because above 90% health, it's really easy to get an enemy below that, so I guess, like, it'd be good for, like, powerful hits. It'd be good on Infernus with ult. Yeah, I'll say passable. I don't know, I think it'd be pretty good, because, like, if you put it on single hit abilities, that's doing 75% increased damage, even if they're high health. It'd be a very good combo with opening rounds. I think it's pretty good. I'm not going to put it in passable, because it's my tier list and I can do what I want. Bleed, chance to apply bleed, this would be very good, I think. It's multiplicative, yeah, shoot, exactly, yeah. We have bleed in Deadlock, it's good, it's good. No, it can't in Risk of Raid 2, I don't know why Dot would proc items. I think Dot would proc, like, the spirit damage deal X thing. So if you bled someone, it would deal spirit damage, and that would apply, like, Mystic Vulnerability and such. War Banner on level up, which does happen in Deadlock. So every time you gain a boon, in Deadlock, you drop a war banner that's just there forever, I guess, that increases movement speed inside it and attack speed. I think it'd be pretty good. I don't want to put it in overpowered, because it is there forever. I mean, maybe you could say, like, only one exists at a time per character, but that's not how it is in Risk of Rain 2. It's just there, a new one for every time you level up. I'm gonna put it in pretty good. It's there forever. Slug would actually probably be pretty bad. It's extra regen, but only when you're out of combat. It's not very good. PSG, gain recharging shields over your health. There are not shields in Deadlock, but I imagine they'd work about the same. Just after 7 seconds of not taking any damage, you regen it. I feel like shields would be low-key kind of nuts, no? Like, Transcendence would be fucking overpowered in Deadlock. All you have to do, like, you wouldn't be able to heal, but if you could run away, like on someone like Holiday, if you could just run away and hide for 7 seconds, find a veil room or something, that should instantly or not instantly, but it basically instantly recharges. So I think, I mean, while we're thinking about it, we may as well take Transcendence, pop it in there. I'm gonna put recharging shields also in overpowered, I think. Because it's 8% of your health after 7 seconds of not taking damage. It just, whoop, done. Oh, but it doesn't stack. Because it doesn't stack, because we're not saying things stack, I'm gonna put it in passable. I'm gonna put it in passable. I hope that's okay. Medkit would be pretty good, I think. After taking damage, after like 3 seconds of not taking damage, you get a little burst of healing. I mean, Medkit, if you think about it, is kind of just Abrams' passive, but instant instead of over time, where you regen like 8% of the damage you take. Gasoline would be fucking insane. Every time you kill a minion or a player, everything around them burns. Yeah, I feel like Gasoline would be kind of nuts. It would just be the best lane clear ability in the game, especially if we're considering it a level 2 item. Stuns would be low-key insane. No? Yeah, no, it'd be ridiculously overpowered against enemies, yeah. Because it's unavoidable. In-game, in Risk of Rain 2, it's a high enough proc rate that you can just sort of keep one enemy permanently stunned. I think Stun Grenade would be beyond overpowered. Fireworks, we said all interactables would only activate when you use the shop, because that's kind of the only interactable there is in the game. We could also say it would work with, like, hitting the urn and hitting the what are they called? Bridge buffs? So if you hit the bridge buffs, this would also happen. Homing rockets, Sinners. Yeah, sure, we could say Sinners as well. But I think it would only activate once on Sinners, because that would be kind of insane. Yeah, let's say Fireworks. I'll put it in passable. It's an interesting idea. Every single time you interact, use the shopper, you know, hit something like a urn or a bridge buff. It shoots out homing fireworks that deal some pretty decent damage. I'll put it in passable. I think that's fine. This is literally just sprint boots. It's the same as the other item. Backup mag. Your secondary ability, which in Deadlock only like 4 characters have secondary abilities, unless we're counting like secondary as your 2 ability instead of your right click. I don't know how that would work, but I'm gonna say it would be your right click, because we do have one because Express Shot exists and increases your right click ability. This is way more thinking than I was expecting to. But because some characters in Deadlock have a right click, we have to abide by that rule. And only because Express Shot exists do we have to differentiate it and make it apply to your secondary fire. So I'm gonna say it's probably pretty terrible, because it applies to like 3 characters and it's ammo based, not charge based, so I don't know. It's weird. Sticky Bomb would be nuts. Chance on damage to deal 160% total damage with an unavoidable bomb, unless I guess you have like cleanse or something. I'm gonna say it would be overpowered. I think it would be a very powerful item. And then the key. I said that the keys, there's a possibility they could work. Once you buy the key in the shop, a chest appears fucking anywhere on the map. And you have to go find it. And when you find it, you find like a tier 3 or higher item. A random one. You get a random one. I think it would be weird. It would be a good item Yeah, it wouldn't be marked. You would just literally have to go look for it randomly and just hope you find it. And also, if other people, I guess it would only appear for you, maybe. Because I don't think I'd want enemies to be able to camp it. It'd be weird, and it would be bad for the game, because it would be basically telling a player, hey, go fuck off and don't play with your team for a bit. You know? And go do whatever you want. So I'm gonna put it in bad, but it would work somehow. Oh yeah, that would be interesting. If multiple people bought the key, could you open other people's boxes? Yeah, I guess it would work. I don't know. I guess. I would guess. And the same story would be with Encrusted Key, where it would work, but it would only give you void items this time. And it would give you... But Encrusted Key would also give you the choice of 3 void items, so wouldn't be the worst. And unlike the Rusted Key, where it's just normal. This would probably be pretty bad, because it's 20% damage against bosses, so it's only against mid-boss, so I'd say probably pretty terrible. Not worth it for an item that only does stuff to mid-boss. I don't think that'd be good. Topaz Brooch would probably be pretty good. Every single time you kill a minion or a person, you gain a little bit of a shield, I guess. You gain a little taste of shield. It would help with upkeep, I think. Focus Crystal would be a lot stronger at Deadlock than Melee is in RR2. Yeah, Focus Crystal would be insane at Deadlock, because we already have close range abilities. Like, we already have close range, the item, which only applies to weapon damage. Focus Crystal, all damage increased by 20% if they're close by, which would be kind of nuts. I'm putting... Dare I say, also because it is multiplicative, I'm putting Focus Crystal in overpowered. Same with, I don't know, would Watch be overpowered? Because it is a 20% damage, but if you die, it's gone. If you go below 20% HP, it's gone. You do not get it back. What would Watch be? Also, we could just put that in there. Terrible in one game, terrible in the other. What would Watch be? Well, Watch, pretty strong. I'm going to put Watch at pretty good, just because it can be removed. Focus Crystal cannot. Focus Crystal would just be very powerful. Especially early game. If we're considering by the rules we set where commons are level 2s, this would be very nuts. Armor Plate would probably be very good. It would basically eliminate all minion damage that you take, and damage from, like, damage over time would be greatly reduced. I think Armor Plate would be... Repulsion Armor Plate would be very powerful. Armor Plate would be insanely overpowered. There's a lot of damage over time in this game, and little damages and poke damage would just be completely eliminated. Mocha, 70.5, I think it'd be passable. 7.5% movement speed, 7.5% attack speed, excuse me. I'll just pop it right there, right between these two. Just same idea. Power Elixir, one-time use when you get below... There aren't one-time use items in Deadlock, usually. Except for the egg, which is the one exception. But when you hit below 25% HP, it fully heals you. I mean, I guess it would be affected by anti-heal. Elixir would probably be pretty good. I'm gonna put it in pretty good, just because I don't know how it would work totally, but yeah. Opal, we have... Opal is just... Spellbreaker. I'm putting it passable. It's just Spellbreaker, but slightly different. Yeah, no, this would be insane. This is effectively Victor ult, kind of, if I'm thinking about it right. You go low health, you just instantly heal full, no matter what's happening, and it's automatic, so you don't even have to activate it or anything. I feel like all the money-making ones would be kind of insane, no? Yeah, penny farming. We could say that it only applies to player damage, but even that'd be insane. I'm gonna say all the money ones would be kind of nuts. We'll say the money ones are powerful, because obviously the values are gonna be different, and that's one thing we can never know. I'm gonna put it in overpowered. Elusive Antlers. A little orb appears in front of you every now and then while you're running, and it gives you a stacking movement speed boost. It's a decent map traversal item, up there with like Fleetfoot and such. Good. It also, the orb notably also always spawns in front of you, so it could be good for running away and such. It'd be funny if enemies could also pick up the orbs, though. Just chase you down. I mean, if they can also take Holiday Jump Pad, they can they can pick up your elusive antler orbs. I'm gonna put this in passable, probably. Passable. Bolstering Lantern. For every enemy that's within like 20 or so meters, you gain like 5% attack speed or something. Pretty good. It'd be nuts for like, I mean, I don't know how insane it would be, because it's not like, if there's like a bunch of minions, obviously you're going to be doing a lot of damage, but if you're trying to do like high single target damage to an enemy, it's not like they're going to be easy to keep in range. I'm going to say it's pretty good. I think Bolstering Lantern's pretty good. It's fine. It's great. Enemies and allies. Yeah, well, I mean, you find me a Deadlock game where your allies actually stick near you. I'll wait. We'll put it in pretty good. Chronic Expansion, increase your damage dealt as you get kills over time, but it does go away over time. It'd be like passable. The flat damage increase would be nice if you clear a wave and then go attack someone. It could be nice, but it wouldn't last forever. Does it stay when you're in combat? Or does it just go away if you don't get another kill? Yeah, dealing damage refreshes the timer, so never mind. It would last a lot longer than I think it would. So I'm gonna put Chronic Expansion in pretty good, I think. A lot of pretty goods in there. I think it makes sense. Warped Echo. The next hit you take is divided into 3 hits, and like 20% of it is deferred. This is just another Opal, I think, just weirder. It's easier. It makes big hits easier to heal, so it's about the same as Opal. Eclipse Light. Every time a ability comes off cooldown, you gain a small barrier on top of your health. It's a small temporary barrier. It doesn't last forever, but it exists. I mean, cooldowns are a lot longer in Deadlock, so the values would have to be weird, but OP in Deadlock, really. Every time an ability comes off cooldown, you get just a small amount of shields. How much shields is it? Isn't it like not even that much? Yeah, it's 1% of your maximum health. It's not that much. Barrier is based off of the ability's cooldown? Oh, is it really? Oh, per second of the skill's base cooldown. I didn't finish reading the thing. Yeah, no, that would be kind of insane, wouldn't it? I don't know if it would be like OP, because it really depends on the character, but I'll put it in pretty good. But like, when something cool comes off cooldown, one, the barrier doesn't last forever, so it will go away eventually, but like, when you can't really predict when something's coming off cooldown, or you can't really guarantee that you'll be in a good position when something comes off cooldown. Like, if it comes off cooldown when you're dead, this item's just useless. For the longer cooldown, yeah, about it. I'm gonna put it in pretty good. I don't think it's overpowered. I think that the wait times and the inconsistency of it will put it in pretty good. Hiker's Boots would probably be just about as powerful as they are in Risk of Rain 2. Maybe not overpowered, but well, I'm gonna put them in pretty good and just sort of... I don't know that much about Hiker's Boots. Everyone thinks they're overpowered. They probably are. I just don't have a ton of experience with them. I don't know that much about them yet, because they kind of go unnoticed in Risk of Rain 2 unless you're really paying attention, which is why I don't like them, because they're kind of in the background, and I like items that I can see that they're having an effect. So, but anyways, my opinion aside, Hiker's Boots, if you're above an enemy, you gain 5% crit chance and 5% increased crit damage, and it stacks a little. ATG would be kind of nuts, no? You have a chance to shoot a homing missile that just does a shit ton of damage. I think ATG would be very powerful. Will-o-the-Wisp would be in the same vein as the Gasoline. Just pop it up there. Double Jump. This is kind of just stamina mastery, right? It just adds you can air dash an additional time, we'll say, is what Hopu Feather does. I'd say it'd be pretty good. And there's no more to say about it than that, because it's a very simple item in both games. Tesla Bullets would be worse, so I'd say Ukulele's pretty good. It does total damage instead of flat damage like Tesla Bullets, so I'd say Ukulele would be pretty powerful. Leeching Seed, it really, really depends on the character you take it on. Because if you take it on like Haze or Wraith, you're gonna be unkillable, because of how many bullets you're shooting at the enemy. But if you take it on someone like more quality over quantity, like Abrams or something, probably not going to do that much. So I'm going to put it in passable. I think it would be better in Deadlock than it would be in Risk of Rain 2. Than it is in Risk of Rain 2, rather. Predatory Instincts, every time you crit someone or headshot someone in Deadlock, you gain a little bit of attack speed. I think this would be a great green item, or a great orange, tier 3 orange, just a normal, like, this is just a weirder version of Burst Fire, kind of. It'd probably be a higher attack speed, but only on crits, you know? And it stacks, so. Red Whip, I feel like, would be really powerful, though, because Red Whip is kind of just Fortitude. Yeah, when you're out of combat, you just gain a big movement speed boost. I think Red Whip would be pretty good. I don't think I'm going to argue with that. Invisibility is not as powerful in Deadlock as it is in Risk of Rain 2, because invisibility, all of the cases of invisibility have like a range around them where you can kind of see the enemy who's invisible. So I think while Old War Stealth Kit would help, I don't think it would save you that much. It would be a nice item, but it wouldn't save you. I'm gonna put it in passable. Harvester Scythe would be fucking insane. Every headshot heals you for like 8%. Every headshot heal. How much is it? It's what is Harvester Scythe healing? Where is it? Is it an 8 health per hit? Yeah, it's 8 health per crit hit. Very powerful. Be a lot of healing with decent aim. Just any crits on it. Honestly, you don't even need that decent aim. Just get like an immobilize, haze sleep. You just heal for like 400 if you're nearby someone and you can hit like a couple headshots. That'd be nice. Fuel Cell, forgive me if I'm wrong, wouldn't Fuel Cell just give you an extra charge of all of your items? We called actives equipments, so I'm gonna say that anything that affects equipments would affect your actives only, not your abilities. So I think Fuel Cell would be an extra charge for your items, I guess, which would be very powerful depending on the item. Like, imagine having 2 ethereal shifts. You wouldn't die. You just wouldn't die. And cooldown reduction. Does Fuel Cell give cooldown reduction? God, I don't play this game, do I? Damn, it does, doesn't it? I imagine, honestly, there's a world where Fuel Cell is an imbue ability somehow. Like, you imbue an item. I don't know how that would work, but, game breaking? Yeah, I agree. We're gonna put it in overpowered and just try not to think about it too much. Infusion would be nice, just a lane clear, encouragement to lane clear, I guess. As you kill minions, you get max health, but it's not a lot of max health. Like, the item extra health incentive, thank you. The item extra health gives more than Infusion would ever give. Infusion would only give up to 100. I'm gonna say it's terrible in Deadlock just because of the values. And you have to earn it. It's also like, Infusion's also like a trophy collector where you have to earn it. Oh, Bandolier would be fucking insane. A minion drops a little thing that just resets is it one of your cooldowns, or is it just all of your cooldowns? I forget how Bandolier works. Dude, I really don't play this game. All skill cooldowns. Yep, nope, it'd be nuts. It'd be nuts. Berserker's Pauldron, on the other hand, probably not too crazy. I guess if it applied to minions, it'd be pretty nice. Attack speed and movement speed, right? That's all. That's a lot of items, man. I'm confused. Berserker's Pauldron, I'll put it in passable and not think about it too hard. I think Berserker's Pauldron would be a decent, like, tier 3. Just a weird tier 3. Armor is not a thing that happens in Deadlock that we didn't actually think about. It's not really a thing that exists. I guess it would be damage reduction. It's kind of like Spirit Resist, Bullet Resist. I'm gonna say Rose Buckler gives you Spirit and Bullet Resist while you're sprinting. We'll say Armor is just Spirit and Bullet Resist effectively. Yeah, we'll just say that. Yeah. Also, I hate to do this. I don't see how this would work. I guess if we're counting the key, it would technically work with the key, but I don't know how that works. But anyways, this would be very powerful. I'm gonna put that in pretty good. Renaud's Band is kind of just Tank Buster, but it freezes, no? You do a big burst of damage, you get extra damage on top of that and freeze the enemy, but it doesn't freeze, it just slows them. Renaud's Band does. It doesn't freeze them, just slows. I think it'd be passable. The Fire Band would be nuts. You deal an extra bit of damage, deal 400% total damage on top of it, right? I think, or is it 350%? I don't remember. I don't play this game. We're learning this. 300% total damage in an area. It'd be pretty nice. It's kind of just Spirit Burn without the anti-heal. I'm gonna put these both in passable because I don't know what to think about them, honestly. Yeah, they're fine. I mean, I can move them to pretty good. That might be better. Chronobobble, we have Mystic Slow and Slowing Bullets combined into one, but it's a chance, not a build-up, so you have a chance to slow an enemy for... Isn't that 60% slow, though? I feel like Chronobobble would be really powerful. Yes, 60% movement speed for 2 seconds, and you can reapply it. I'd say Chronobobble's very powerful. I'm gonna put it in pretty good. You have a chance to slow an enemy for 60% on a hit? Yeah, no, it'd be nuts. Wax Quail. If you jump while sprinting, you get sure, great. We have dashing already. I guess this would just be another little... Wait, Chronobobble's not a chance. Dude, I genuinely don't play this game. Oh, it's just guaranteed. Never mind, it would be overpowered as fuck then. A 60% slow on every hit? Sorry, I'm thinking of Tentabobble, I think. Leave me... You're a speedrunner, okay? Leave me alone! Do you have any idea how burnt out of Risk of Rain 2 I am? You have no idea. Look, I love this game, and I owe it a lot, but I'm fucking tired. I've been doing this shit for 4 years. Look, the summit took a lot out of me when it came to this game. You'd think it would renew my likeness for this game. It would renew my interest in Risk of Rain 2. No, it just made me a lot more tired with the IP. There are just a lot of items. It's a lot to remember, okay? It's a lot to remember. So don't socks ... me ever again, or I'm gonna be a little bit annoyed. And you don't want that to happen now, do you? Warhorn. Whenever you use an active item, every time you use an active item, you get an attack speed and movement speed buff. I think it'd be pretty good. Nothing against that. Lepton Daisy probably wouldn't work. There's no teleporter radius. Also, were there any disagreements with me putting in Sailstar and probably wouldn't work? I have no idea how it would work. The next item you buy is doubled, I guess? Excuse me. And then I don't know how that would work. You buy an item, and then the next item you buy is doubled. And in order to do this again, you have to buy another Sailstar. It would be a huge waste of money, but it would be kind of insane if it did double items, because having 2 of one item would be nuts. Because items in Deadlock are not built around that, so I think in terms of pure proc coefficient and damage, Razorwire would be insane. You take so much damage, and Razorwire procs on any damage. It's not like there's no minimum you have to take. I'm gonna put Razorwire up here, because it's also unavoidable. You can't dodge Razorwire damage. Gorse Tome would be nuts, probably. Same. All the money-making items are nuts, so put them very... If Gorse Tome applied to minions, it would be nuts. If it didn't, then it wouldn't be so powerful, but I think it would, so... Yeah, no, it'd just be free money. Squid Polyp. Every time you buy a shop, pick up an urn, or pick up the bridge buffs, you put down a little temporary turret that knocks enemies back. This honestly could be kind of nice, no? It would stop people from ganking you a little bit, which I hate that term. That's one thing to know about me. I despise the word ganking. It just feels gross. I'm gonna put this in passable. It would be a weirdly specific tool to help flankers from being jumped, kind of. I don't know. This is so much more complicated than I thought it was gonna be. Deathmark. If an enemy has more than 4 debuffs... Look, Deathmark that's definitely one I'm not gonna remember. 4 debuffs. Yeah, I was right. They take 50% more damage. Deathmark would be fucking insane, I think. Yeah, Deathmark would be insane. Don't mock me. Yeah. After you kill someone, you get like a little boost of lots of movement speed. Yay. Ignition Tank, fucking insane on Infernus, useless on everyone else. I'm gonna put it on terrible, probably. Beyond overpowered on Infernus. Literally the most powerful item you could even think of on Infernus, but useless on everyone else. It is the most polarizing item in existence. We can also probably put ICBM in. Probably wouldn't work as well. There is Spirit Burn. Spirit Burn, the item, does exist. So it would technically apply to that also, because it is counted as a burn. It's not the same debuff as Infernus's burn, but It's called burn, so I'm counting it. Does that make it overpowered? I don't know. My brain's a little bit fried. We're hitting hour 3 here of all this thinking, and I usually don't do this on stream. This is the kinds of thoughts I have while very high at like 11 p.m. Alright. I don't know. Bad. Shuriken would be kind of nuts. Shuriken's just kind of a weirder version of Mystic Shot if you think about it. On left click, you just shoot like a different thing that does extra damage. I think it'd be passable. I guess shipping request would work. If we counted key, then shipping request technically works. When you buy it, it lands somewhere, but anyone can take it. It would probably, in that case, it would be terrible, because you don't need a shipping request form to take from the shipping request thing, the drop pod that falls, so... Shipping request form, if you were unlucky of where it landed, it would be actively detrimental for you and your team. Breaching Pin would be fucking insane. Locks you in the air, and you take up to 30% increased damage with, is it 30%? I think it used to be, but what's the actual? Yeah, it's 30% up to the, on one stack. So, Breaching Pin would be nuts. Luminous Shot, every time you use your right click, your left... if we counted Backup Mag, this would only apply to characters with secondary abilities, so I'm going to put it on and Terrible, even though it would probably be pretty good on the few characters who have right-click abilities. Noxious Thorn, if a character has a debuff on them, when they die, it applies the debuff to nearby enemies. We could say Chance Doll applies to golden statues, I guess. It's not really a chance shrine, though. Sure, we could say it. I'll put it in... I don't know. We're putting it in bad, I guess. It'd be fine, but only applying to those would be whatever. That's a good point, though. That's why you guys are here, though, chat, just to remind me of things that I'm going to forget about. Noxious Thorn I don't think would be that good, actually. I mean, transferring, but it only transfers like 25% of the debuff, so it'd be nuts on Infernus again. Lots of items that are great on Infernus. It also does apply 10% bleed, we do have to remember that. So I'm gonna put it in passable. Prayer Bead's kind of just egg. It's kind of just egg, but with only stats and no money. We're just gonna do this, I guess. Unstable Transmitter. When you hit low HP, you get a shit ton of barrier, and you gain the aura that teleports enemies away, and when it does so, applies bleed. I think Unstable Transmitter. We gotta put it with Power Elixir, because they're kind of the same value, but they're similar in value, because it does get consumed. You do lose it after you use it. What is this item even called? Box of Dynamite? Box of Dynamite. Look, gang. After AC, it's just been a steady decline of my interest in this game, so AC items are just like a little bit brain rot for me. Yeah, I also forget that Box of Dynamite exists, unless I'm playing like Operator or Captain, then I'm like, yay! Box of Dynamite, since we said it applies to all allied minions in your lane, all of the drone and ally buffing things, we're gonna say that Box of Dynamite only would apply to your minions, and they would drop bombs every now and then. It'd be very inconsistent, because the enemies would catch onto it real quick, and there's no, like, guaranteeing that an enemy's gonna be near enough to... Yeah, but it's still inconsistent is what I'm saying. There's no guarantee that an enemy's gonna be near enough to a minion for it to actually hit them. So you're just sort of hoping that enemies get it, and once enemies notice you have it, they're gonna just avoid it. They're just gonna kill enemies from afar. They're just gonna kill minions from afar, rather. We'll put it in passable, I guess. It's weird. What are we looking at? I actually really like this item. I like it so much that I just have to check what it's called, because I definitely remember Collector's Compulsion, of course. I didn't forget, you did. Collector's Compulsion... There aren't really pickups in this game. It'd be insane on Graves every time you pick up a little dot. One of the little things that the minions drop, a soul for your thang, for your skulls. you get a stat buff, a stacking stat buff, would pretty good. Would be pretty good. I'm having a stroke. I think we're gonna put it in bad though, because there aren't that many pickups. But it'd be nuts on Graves, and if we put in Ignition Take in there for Infernus, then we'll put it there. But it'd be crazy. And I guess it would apply to when you got items as well. I don't know. Faraday Spurs, probably as powerful as they are in Risk of Rain 2 in Deadlock. After running for a while, you gain a massive speed boost, a big burst of damage, and a massively increased jump height the next time you jump. Yeah, I think it'd be pretty overpowered. It's OP in Jesus Christ. Whew! Let me breathe. It's OP in Risk of Rain 2, so I think it would also be overpowered in Deadlock, just because the movements are not that far off from each other. I don't know how Kinetic Dampener would work. I don't know how Kinetic Dampener would work. When you have shields, I guess it'd be a crazy page item, or anyone who has self-shielding, like Celeste or Wraith and such, or like Warden as well. Whenever you get that, you gain just flat spirit and or damage reduction because it gives you armor. Yeah, we'll put this just in, probably passable, I guess, because it only applied to shields, but wouldn't be too bad. Just make shields effectively stronger, I think. Brilliant Behemoth, fucking insane. Just a flat. No, that'd be beyond overpowered, without a question. So would Ceremonial Dagger, I imagine. Ceremonial Dagger, especially because it goes through walls, unlike other homing abilities in Risk of Rain 2. Ceremonial Dagger will go through walls, hitting enemies and dealing a shit ton of damage. And activating on minions, it would be insane. Frost Relic, kind of just an always active Arctic blast, so I'm gonna put it in pretty good. I think it would be pretty powerful. Very powerful on characters like Abrams and Billy. It'd be nuts on them, but I don't know. That Frost Relic would be a pretty normal. Honestly, if they added Frost Relic to as a legendary in Street Brawl, it would fit right in. Every kill you get a little stacking aura that does damage. I think it'd be great. Happiest Mask. Be really funny if it could turn enemies you kill into NPCs. There are bots in Deadlock in the bot games, so if you kill an enemy, you get a chance to turn them onto your team for a little bit. Same with minions. I don't know. I'm gonna put it in pretty good and not think about it too hard. I think it would work. But it would be weird. There's already no fall damage in Deadlock, so head stompers are not as powerful, but they do have the active ability of, if you press your interact key while airborne, you slam down, dealing a shit ton of damage, so it'd be an interesting item. It's not really an active, not really a passive at the same time. So I'm gonna say head stompers. Yeah, it would be funny. We'll put it in pretty good, because it would be a lot of damage, but the passive is completely removed. The passive that makes it a lot more powerful in Risk of Rain 2 would be Mute in Deadlock, the anti-fall damage, so... Nuka-Hanas would be pretty powerful, I think, because it's a lot easier to get healing in Deadlock than it is Risk of Rain 2. At least more consistent, and you can play around it easier. Especially if it's stored up. This would be the flanker's best friend. Dare I say overpowered, but I'd say... I hate that, by the way. I think that Nuka-Hanas is not as bad as people say. It's bad, but it's not, like, the worst item, like some people act. It belongs in the uncommon tier, and for some reason it's a legendary. I don't know. It was made for a different time in Risk of Rain history. Tesla Coil, just a far better Torment Pulse. I think Tesla Coil would be insane. Even on characters like Paige who aren't close range, it'd be great for clearing waves and keeping yourself safe. Yeah, I like Nuka-Hanas. I think it's a great concept for item. It's just its values are low and healing is not as easy to come by in Risk of Rain 2 as it is in other games. 57 Leaf Clover. Hear me out. Wouldn't be that good in Deadlock, because if we look at the Deadlock thing, I mean, if we quickly scroll through, there's not that many proccable items. Most things are either charge up, guaranteed, or something else. There are some, like armor piercing rounds is proc chance, Lucky Shot as proc chance. It would make gun characters a lot more powerful. I don't think so, but I think it would be helpful, but not nearly as much as it is in Risk of Rain 2, because not nearly as many items and abilities and effects are based off of chance in Deadlock. Most of them are rewarding when it comes to, like, build up and such. So I'm gonna put this in pretty good. It would definitely be helpful, but not that insane, you know? Hitting Sentient Meat Hook would ruin the game. Fucking terrible. Just absolutely destroy the health of the game. Such a powerful item for... yeah, no, I don't even want to think about how powerful Sentient Meat Hook would be. Sentient Meat Book? I don't want to... That's a miswording that I didn't want to think about, actually. Yes, it would also help boxes and statues, but that wouldn't be as helpful. The Meat Book. I think that's called the Necronomicon. Procking meat. Yeah, exactly. Come on, get closer together, buddies. We have Transcendent cooldown, but it only applies to your abilities. Passable. It's worse than Transcendent cooldown, but it exists. Whatever. This is kind of like Spirit Burn, but instead of burn, it reduces your item cooldowns by 4 seconds every time you kill something, which would be very powerful if it applies to minions, which I assume it would. If we're applying other on-kill items like Gasoline and Will-o-the-Wisp to minions, then I think Soulbound would also be very powerful. All of your actives just are always up. Be insane with Refresher. If you only had Refresher, just... oh god, be nuts. Dio's... it does reset your health and give you invulnerability. It's a better cheat death. I'd say, yeah, it's pretty good. But it does get consumed. We do have to remember that. It does not exist. It only works once, and you will have to rebuy it if it works. I'm gonna put it in pretty good, actually, because you'd lose it. I mean, it's Victor ult. It'd be nuts on Victor, but still, especially if it got consumed before his ult. I don't think it would, but, you know, I'd say pretty good as well. Hard Light Afterburner, we'll say it's for your 3, because that's where your utility is. So your 3 ability gets 2 extra charges, and that's it. Pretty, I mean, depending on the character, that's nuts. As a page main, 3 Captivating Reed charges, whoo. Wouldn't be so helpful on other characters like Dynamo. Wow, you can heal 3 times, wow. Doesn't it reduce cooldown? Does it? I don't remember. Yeah, it would be character specific. I feel like we should make a new tier for character specific. Yes, it does. Oh, by 30%. Yeah, this is kind of just like a ability specific Omnicharge Signet, so it's like slightly worse. So I'd say it's been pretty good. I don't think it'd be overpowered. It's character specific, so yeah. Rejuvenac would be nuts. Just flat double all of your healing. Yeah, no. Because, you know, Rejuvenac is good because the only thing that increases healing output is healing tempo and healing booster, which are a max of 35%, so Rejuvenac being 100% increase would be very nice. Someone remind me, does Rejuvenac apply to regen? Because if it does, it'd be even more powerful in Deadlock. I believe so. I mean, I could check. I do have the power. Item increases all passive regen. Yep. Cool. Aegis. Healing you get above your max HP grants shield. I have no idea how good Aegis would be. Doesn't apply to regen. I know that. Or if it does, it's just low enough that it wouldn't even affect anything. So 50% of the healing you get over your max HP applies to barrier. Yeah, I think it would be better in Overwatch. We'll just say it's bad, but I don't think it would be the worst. I think it would definitely help, especially if there were no limit to it. Just like in passive, you just, before you go into a fight, you, I don't know, get heal, you hit up a rescue beam, and bam, you have 20% shield. Shattering Justice. You deal a bunch of burst hits to an enemy. They have their armor reduced. I think that would be really nuts, because it's like isn't it like an 80% armor reduction? What is Shattering Justice's value? 60. So we'll say it's a 60% armor reduction. I think this would be very powerful. Put it in pretty good. I don't know what Resonance Disc would even be. If it worked on What's the condition? What are the specific values when it comes to condition? 4 enemies in 7 seconds. I think that's doable when it comes to minions. Yeah, four enemies in 7 seconds, and you get this like powerful homing hit that's unavoidable. It'd be very fucking annoying, but it would be kind of hard to proc depending on the, you know, depending on your character. So I'm gonna put it in pretty good, but on the right characters, I think it would be very, very powerful. It'd be a good like anti-flanker item for like supports who can clear waves like Dynamo and Page. This would probably be pretty crazy. Whoa. Your Solar Dust Plant would probably be insane. All minions drop healing circles that heal you for a shit ton. 10% health per second, yeah. Defensive Microbots, yep. I almost said Defense Nucleus because I was looking at it, but Defensive Microbots, Defensive Microbots, it's every few seconds it absorbs a single projectile near you, and it applies to all allies. And we did say with drones, so technically all the minions on your lane would also have this, and all of your allies would have it. It does scale with attack speed, but would it scale with fire rate? Because it's definitely worded differently in Deadlock, but we did consider attack speed and fire rate the same thing, because they kind of are. So yeah, we'll say it scales with fire rate. I'll say it's pretty good. I don't think it would be overpowered, because if you're alone, it's only going to protect you from so much, and the attack speed enemies can get is so high. Like, if you're going up against a Wraith, this is gonna get rid of, like, 1 of every 5 shots, which is it's a lot. It'll help, but it's not gonna save your life, I don't think. I'll put it in pretty good because I don't really know how it would work. That's always a trade-off for pretty good is... we don't know. Headshots become just twice as powerful. This would be... I'm gonna put it in pretty good because characters like you know, Paige, and with only mediocre attack speed and such, and guns would not get as much value out of this because it would be harder to crit, but those who can easily headshot would absolutely enjoy this. It'd be insane on Holiday. The Holiday laser sight fucking build. I don't know. I'm trying to make jokes while thinking at the same time. My brain is fried. All minions in your lane get increased attack speed and shoot fucking missiles every now and then. Why not? Sure. I'll put it, I guess, in pretty good. I feel like that would get out of hand really quickly. I don't know if anyone remembers the minion damage or in early access or like early Deadlock. Where they were able to like shred buildings by themselves. This would probably bring them back to that level. Scorpion would be fucking insane. Just every shot you deal slowly lowers, and Scorpion can reduce armor can be reduced into the negatives in this game, so in Risk of Rain 2, so it'd be very powerful. Ben's Raincoat, kind of just Indomitable, but it gives you shield and it doesn't. And it works on debuffs, not stuns. So kind of just automatic dispel magic, no? I think it'd be pretty powerful. I think Ben's Raincoat would work out pretty well. Bottled Chaos. Every time you use an equipment, a random other equipment effect also happens. Sure, fucking whatever, man. It's nothing. It seems funny, but it'd be impossible to play around because it'd be completely unpredictable. Electric Boomerang would be nuts. Same with stun, just completely unavoidable stuns. And insane proc coefficient and damage increase. Yeah, no. Growth Nectar would probably be very powerful as well. The amount of buffs you can have in this game, pretty good. I don't think Runic Lens would be that powerful just because of how much movement there is in Deadlock. It'd be really easy to dodge. But if it did hit, it would be incredibly powerful. And in movement inhibiting abilities would make this beyond overpowered. So I'm going to put this in pretty good just because it has a use clause to it, but it is somewhat avoidable if you're ready for it. So I think it'd be possible to dodge. When you kill mid-boss, you get an item, I guess, and a chance to get an item when you kill a player, but it's only like 5%, so it's super low. Sure, man, I don't know. Oh god, depending on the money you have, once you start fighting mid-boss, you hit him with some missiles that deal percentage of the yeah, anyways. Network suffering would be nuts. Every enemy, if you just hit multiple enemies, they share damage taken, and it's just constantly active focus focus lens. Be very, very, very powerful. Very, very powerful. Best buddy. Alright, great. Substandard duplicator. Would it be that bad, though? Every time you buy an item, you get a temporary version of it? I mean, it wouldn't be that good, but it would exist. For 80 seconds? Yeah, it's not that long. In Deadlock, at least. That's like the length of most, like, some ultimates. Let's just put it in, like, bad. I don't think it would be that bad, but it'd be weird. Yeah, it'd exist. Titanic Neural, get a little bit of extra health, but not that much, because extra health in Risk of Rain 2 is a lot lower than it is in Deadlock, so it'd be like 40 health, it's not that much, and then a shitty amount of passive reset. I'm putting this in terrible. It'd be like 2 white items. Not very good. Beetle Guard, be really funny. You just get 2 dudes who follow, or a dude who follows you around, punching people. And if you kill him, he respawns in 30 seconds, so... Beetle Guard would be cute as a character passive. I hope they oh my god, that would be so cute. If they added a character who had a passive that's just a dude who follows you and does his own thing, and just respawns over time, I think Beetle Guard would be funny. I think it would work, surprisingly. The slam attack and the knock up when he hits you with the ranged attack he has. I'm gonna put it in pretty good. Aurelionite. I mean, if Lepton Daisy didn't activate, technically Aurelionite wouldn't be able to either, no? Because it only activates on teleporter events. So I'm gonna say technically it wouldn't activate. There could be an argument for like mid-boss for both Lepton Daisy and this. Like when Lepton Daisy, it's like when mid-boss gets below half health, it heals your whole team in the radius. That could be fun. Be kind of a useless item, but it'd be there. And Aurelionite, just like when you start fighting mid-boss, Aurelionite shows up and helps, I guess. I'm gonna put this in terrible, because if we're saying it only applies with mid-boss, we're gonna put these both. I don't know. We'll put these in terrible, since technically they would work if we saw mid-boss as a teleporter event. I don't know. Oh, wait, what are we talking about? The urn is now a teleporter event, isn't it? It's literally a holdout zone now. The urn also exists, so once the urn hits 50%, you heal out all of your teammates. That would not be bad. It wouldn't be that great because it only would apply to urn, but it would exist. And then this one, just when you start the urn, you get a guy, you get a freaking golem that just shows up. It'd just be nuts. This is just sort of Torment Pulse, but when you're sprinting. Would this be overpowered? I don't know. It depends on how much damage it dealt in Deadlock, but I think it would be more comparable to Torment Pulse, so I'm gonna put it in pretty good. Little Disciple, that is. Pearl, be passable. 10% health increase. Yeah, cool. Wow. 10% to all stats, that would be much better. I'll put it in pretty good because I don't think it would be too insane. Genesis Loop would be really funny. Once you get low, you explode. I don't know, because people could kill you before it went off, so there is a possible. And it does increase with fire rate. We have to remember that with attack speed. So if you had a shit ton of attack speed, this would go off near instantly and be really annoying. This would be fucking annoying against a Victor. This would be inconsistent, but I'll put it in passable. I think it would do a lot of damage, but it'd be inconsistent because it's a random projectile and fairly avoidable if people are moving fast enough, so I think it's possible. All headshots now bleed. Yeah, I think it's just as powerful as it is in Risk of Rain 2. That is to say, a lot. Very, very much so. Mired Urn. Nearby enemies, you lifesteal from them. Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah, they also explode on death. Well, that's not as useful, because No. Yeah, I'm gonna put Myrdern in pretty good. This, on the other hand, would be much less avoidable than Molten Perforator. Charge Perforator, I think, would be very powerful. It's kind of just a weirder version of Tank Buster again, kind of like Renault's Band was, where it's just, you do damage, or you have a chance to do a bunch of more damage, you know? I think it'd be pretty good. It'd also be really fun to use on certain abilities. Empathy Cores, you get some dudes that follow around. Would their passive count towards minions, since technically we did say that allies count as all the minions who are currently in your lane, so Empathy Cores would gain attack speed with every minion in your lane and ally that was also there. I think they'd be low-key insane. I'm gonna put them in overpowered. I think they would be insane, especially because their attack is a lot harder to dodge than Beetle Guard. Planula, honestly, if it were put in Deadlock as is, I don't think anyone would notice. It's basically a Deadlock item already. Taking any hit of damage heals you for 15. I don't know. If it worked with debuffs, it'd be incredibly powerful, but I don't think it does in... I don't think it does in Risk of Raid 2. Like, if you're burning, it doesn't heal you for every single tick of damage, does it? I don't know how it works. I never pick up Planula. It does? Okay. So in that case, it might be. We'll put it in pretty good. I think it'd be a lot of passive healing. This one would be nice. I don't remember what it was called. What is it called? I haven't picked it up a lot. Functional Coupler. I guess it would just increase your maximum active things by 1. But it wouldn't really be good because it's also taking up an item slot. Because remember, you are limited up to 12 items in Deadlock, so... Well, no, it would do something. It would basically take away your access to 1 passive item for the opportunity to have a 5th active item. I'm gonna put this one... Probably terrible. It probably would be not worth it. But it would do something. What the fuck does this item do again? Every 15 seconds, release a wave of electricity that energizes nearby allies. They gain attack and movement speed and always land critical strikes with full crits with electric items and attacks. Sure, I don't know. I don't know, it's 30% attack speed and movement speed every 15 seconds to all allies. We'll put it in passive. Whatever, 7 would be insane, because all of his electrical-based attacks, I guess, would have full crits on them. Even though crits don't really exist in Deadlock, I don't know. I just think this would be so fucking funny. Really low chance, but you just instantly kill an enemy. I think it would work. I think Glossier's lenses would work. It'd be really powerful. Yeah, especially if you had high attack speed. Collapse, it's just wherever we put bleed, it's about the same power as bleed. Just all damage at once instead of dot. Damage over time. They'd be countered by the same stuff, so it's not really worth thinking about that much. Cypher Spaces would be overpowered. I keep fat fingering my middle mouse, and it fucks things up. Cypher Spaces would be overpowered. Wongus would probably be a really good healing item. Just as you're sprinting, you heal naturally. It's not that much healing, but it's percentage healing, right? I think it is. If Bungus is, then it is, right? How much percentage? Yeah, 2%. As you're sprinting, yeah, I think Wongus would absolutely be very good. Lysate Cell applies to your special, so I guess Lysate Cell would apply to your ultimate, making it incredibly powerful. You get an extra charge of your ultimate. It depends on how short the time between charges would be, but I guess it would be overpowered. It'd give you a extra charge for your ultimate, which is effectively what Refresher does, but even more. And cooldown reduction, yes, of course. Just get an extra charge and cooldown reduction, but yeah. Shimp, fucking insanely overpowered. Well, no, because actually it would be worse. Does Shimp give you shield? Shimp gives you shield, right? God, I really know nothing about this game. Yeah, 10%, so yeah, it does. Yeah, so I'd say it'd be pretty fucking powerful. I don't know how it'd work a lot, and you're almost always going to be below full health. I'm gonna put it in pretty good, because I don't know how it works. But it would probably be overpowered. Polyloot would be overpowered. As it is. I think I think, hear me out, I think Singularity Band would be fucking insane. It doesn't even need to do that much damage. It just holds an enemy still if you deal a shit ton of damage. That's just a better... It's like if you had an automatic vacuum... What is it called? Vortex? Yeah, Vortex Grenade or whatever? Vortex thing? Vortex Web? Yeah, the grouping would be insane. Tentabobble would be nuts. Just a chance to root enemies. I don't know if it'd be overpowered, but it'd be pretty fucking powerful. Chance to hold enemies still as they're running away. Your first hit on an enemy... I don't think Void Sent Flame would be very good because of how long the time to kill is. It'd be very powerful with Wave Clear, but... Yeah, Tentabobble would be fucking annoying. I'm gonna put this on Passable just because it wouldn't really affect enemies that much. Right? Or enemy teammates, or enemy players, rather. Enemy teammates, Jesus. Now we're on to Benthic. Benthic absolutely would work. It would work in Street Brawl. Between stages, you just... Some of your items become... It's 3 items, right? On first stack? 3 items, yes, I was right. Yeah, 3 items. So 3 of your items between Street Brawl stages become a higher rarity, randomly. It'd be funny if it also worked on on tier 4 items and turned them to legendaries. It'd be insane Street Brawl. So we'll put it in... Probably bad, because it wouldn't work in Standard, but it would work fucking insane in Street Brawl. Plurpus and Larva. I'm just gonna put it next to Dios, because I don't want to think about how it works. Where was Dios? Pretty good. We'll put it right next to each other. No, we won't. No, I want to keep the coloring gradient the same, you know? Void Hatched Soya. Every 30 seconds you gain a void enemy that explodes and instantly kills anything if it dies in its range. And it's an ally, a powerful ally. I think this would be pretty damn good. I don't know if it would be overpowered, because you have the movement to avoid the insta-kills, but if you were hit with them, it would not be fun. Yeah, Void Jailers would be very powerful. I think I'm putting in pretty good, because it would be counterable. I don't remember what the meal items do, so I'm gonna have to open this. Sorry, they're new, and I don't remember. Increases regeneration by 2.5, not that much. At full health, regeneration is added to your base damage. It could be good. I'm gonna put it in Passable. I think it could be good. But it would only apply when you're full health, which is not very often in Deadlock, because any poke damage would take this away from you unless you had shields. Actually, that's probably pretty bad, because you're just never full health in Deadlock. It's never gonna happen. Quick Fix increases bonus health and regeneration by 50%. Does not affect bonuses from leveling up. Yeah, I think that would be pretty fucking powerful. I'm gonna put it in Passable, just because I don't know how it would work perfectly, but just doubling your, or increasing all of your regen by 50%. Not bad. Okay, what is this one? Max up by 50. That's 150, by the way, is literally 1 golden idol buff and 5% of your max health, which is not bad. 5% of your max health isn't terrible. I'm gonna put it in bad, but it wouldn't be the worst. It wouldn't be bison steak bad. Ultimate Meal. Increase your luck by 2 when you're full health. I mean, we gotta just... I think it would be worse than... I think it would be impassable, because this is always active. This is only active when you're full health, so if you take any poke damage at all, if you are below 100%, you are not getting any value out of this. So... it would be fine. It would be fine, but not that great. And then Sauteed Worms. It's a weird damage item. Those are going to be the hardest to visualize in Deadlock, but because they're homing and they deal a bunch of damage, I'm going to put them in pretty good. Shaped Glass? I don't know. I don't know. Would having your health in Deadlock be that bad if all of your damage was doubled? It'd be really funny in Deadlock, but... you die so quickly. Shaped Glass feels like a legendary item that would decrease your death timer if you died, but I think it's... yeah, we'll put it in pretty good. We'll put it in pretty good. Because it would probably be more risk than its reward, but the reward would be really funny. Brittle Crown would be fucking insane. Well, would it? Because the taking damage, losing souls on taking damage, I don't think it would give it to the other player. I don't think they would steal it. I think you would just lose souls on taking damage. So I think with how much damage you take, I think that Brittle Crown might be a net loss in most games. Yeah, it is equal to the amount you lose, which is a lot, because heal is a lot. So I'm gonna put this on probably bad, or probably terrible, actually. Corpse Wound would probably be pretty good. All healing is double, even though it's over time, it'd still be a lot. It's still double healing, so yeah. Gesture would be funny. Gesture would be really funny. All of your actives go off automatically and have their cooldowns reduced. I think I just want to see it. I'm putting it in overpowered just because I want to see it. Though your actives going off automatically in Risk of Rain 2 is a good thing. Your actives going off automatically in... How would this work with Blood Tribute? Would it just constantly be flipping on and off? It has no cooldown. Who knows? Who knows how this shit would work? Okay, the Heresy items, which I actually want to order together. These would replace your abilities, which would be interesting. I guess these would be the only imbue abilities, right? You imbue an ability to change it into a Heresy ability. It's really hard to know. We could put these in, probably wouldn't work, but I feel like they would. Any hero, a gun hero, true. No, I think they would all be very powerful, because depending on the character you put them on. Except for Essence, because this is a normal ability and it would be replacing your ultimate. So let's say this. We'll put Visions in Pretty Good. We'll put Hooks in Passable, because this would be replacing your ability. Visions would be your gun, but these two would be your abilities. And then Heresy in Bad, because it would take away your ultimate. I think that's a good trade-off. Oh wait, wouldn't this replace your secondary ability? So this would actually be really good, because it would give most characters a secondary ability who don't have secondary abilities, because we did say secondary is your right click, not your 2. And then utility would be your 3, your character's 3 in Deadlock, and then special would be your 4. So this would replace your ult, because it replaces your special ability in Risk of Rain 2, which we considered equal to your ult in Deadlock, so would not be a good idea to take on most characters. I mean, I think it would be a good ability, but I don't think it would ever be worth losing your ultimate, depending on the character. Some characters, like maybe Holiday, you could do it, but... Or like Haze, you could probably do it and be probably pretty powerful, but I'll put it in Passable. How about that? I don't think it'd be that strong, because you're losing a lot by losing your ultimate on a lot of characters. Haze would be some characters would be good, but characters like Victor, who like play around their ultimate and live by their ultimate, would not like it. This would just be bad. This would be a net negative, wouldn't it? Because it would only apply to the urn. The urn is now 50% smaller. But it charges faster. Yeah, I'm gonna say terrible. I think it would just make your team's life worse, because it already charges really quickly in the game. Defiant Gouge probably wouldn't work, there's no shrines. We did say Chance Doll works with Golden Idols, so we could say that Defiant Gouge works by every time you hit a chance or a Golden Idol, a bunch of enemy NPCs spawn around you. We'll put it in terrible and move on. I mean, it'd be kind of nice. It would give you money, but it could also fucking kill you while you're ramming the tunnels or something. It just wouldn't work. We're gonna put it in wouldn't work, because I don't think it would work. Mercurial Rackus, little area spawns around you that increases everything that touches its damage by 20%. I think it'd be very powerful, because it spawns nearby you, so you could absolutely metagame it. I'm gonna put it in Pretty Good. I think it would be bad, because the enemies could play around it, depending on where it went. But if you're paying attention, and you're like a backline support, this could help. Actually, I think I'm gonna... Because the enemies could really get a lot of use out of this, because it's the same amount of use. Unlike Holiday Jump Pad, which the enemies can also use, Holiday Jump Pad you could choose to keep it away from enemies, you could choose to not put it down, you know, but with Mercurial Rackus it would literally always be up, just somewhere for the enemies to use. Purity, god awful, minus your cooldowns by 2 seconds, nothing. Literally nothing at all. It is 2 seconds, right? Yeah, 2 seconds and you're less lucky. Yeah, no, the Purity would not ever be worth it. Egocentrism would be really funny. I don't think it would work, but it would be funny. Just absorbs your other items and becomes slightly more powerful for it over time. I mean, technically you could just keep buying like level 1 items for it to eat, and then just jump people as Billy and have it eviscerate them. It would work. I'm putting it in Pretty It does go through walls as well, yes. So that would be nice. Eulogy 0. We're going to put that in one work. It would if all of these items were good, but we're going to try to study these in a vacuum, so I'm going to say that Eulogy 0 wouldn't work. Just because it's easier to say. Stoneflux is funny. I'd say it'd probably be half speed, double health. Is that worth it in Deadlock? I don't think it is. I think it'd be bad. Double health doesn't matter if you're really easy to hit. I always forget the order of Lightfoot's Pauldron. It's just half cooldowns but half attack speed. That's absolutely insane. On most characters. You wouldn't want this on Haze, but if you're Page, you absolutely take this. Half fire rate is really easy to counter, and half cooldowns is amazing. Half cooldowns on everything is kind of OP, no? Is the downside enough to just put this in pretty good, or should I put it in overpowered? I'm thinking just put it in pretty good, because I think that the 50% decrease is too powerful on most characters. But on some characters, this would be ridiculous. Pretty good seems fair, yeah. Wouldn't want, but some would find it busted. Yeah, exactly. So I'm going to put it in pretty good. Oh, God. Alright. Talk about too much thinking. Okay, Long-standing Solitude. All money is turned into XP, so you get boons a lot faster. So every time you level up, you get a free purchase. Actually, I think Long-standing Solitude would be a very good option. It would increase the cost of every item for all of your teammates by 50%, but we don't need to worry about that. You'd be getting free ones. Okay? I don't know, Long-standing Solitude would be amazing for you and terrible for the rest of your team. So if all of your team bought it, it'd be nuts, but if only you bought it, they will hate you. I'm gonna put it in passable because it's just like, it's in the middle. It's amazing, but it has so many downsides as well, so I already pretend like my teammates don't exist in Deadlock, so it's actually best buddy tier. I'll put it in overpowered, because it would be overpowered, even though it would also be fucking terrible. Neutronium weight, you're always debuffed until you attack someone, then you give the weight to someone else. I think it'd be pretty good. I think it'd be passable. I wouldn't argue with Neutronium weight. It'd be kind of annoying to use when you're out of combat, or to have when you're out of combat, but glowing meteorite would be really fucking funny. Yeah, best buddy tier. Yeah, sure. It'd be really funny. The entire map covered in bombs. Everyone's running. It does not matter who has it. All that matters, depending on who has it, is when you get to use it. And that's it. Is when they choose to use it. But once you use it, it's fucking fair game. I love it. I want it. Hellfire Tincture probably wouldn't be very good. It wouldn't be terrible. Because it'd just be like Blood Tribute, but it deals damage over time to everyone around you. It'd be like if Scourge did damage over time to you also. I'm gonna put it in passable. I think it would work. I think there's a world where Hellfire works, but it's probably not that great. Effigy of Grief, choose an area, everyone gets slowed in it. I guess it's a decent mid counter. I'm putting it in bad. It's like a decent mid countering item. Doormans would like it. You know? Sinclairs might enjoy it. But I don't think it would do that much. Oh, it does have armor reduction. How much is it, though? Because if it's not much, then I don't know. I never use Effigy of Grief because it's a bad item in my humble, honest, sexy opinion. 20. We're saying 20 equals 20%. I guess, but it's like really easy to avoid. I don't know. It could be good for like rooted. Well, okay. We'll put it in passable. We'll put it in passable. How about that? You could use it pretty well, considering. Yeah, it is pretty decent area denial. Throwing this, if you could destroy it, then it would be nuts. It wouldn't be that good, but if you threw this into a middle of a team fight, it would fuck up your team too, but you could just tell your team to avoid it. And such. Spinal Tonic, an active that gives you buffs, but has a chance when it stops to nerf you. I don't think that's worth it in Deadlock. I don't know. And we don't have the benefit of gestures and fuel cells like we do in Risk of Rain 2. I think it would be pretty bad. It would be nice. You could definitely use it pretty good, but I don't think it would be pretty good because you wouldn't be able to completely avoid the downside like you can in Risk of Rain 2. I can put it in passable. I can see an argument for passable, but I don't want to put it in pretty good. I don't think it. Double damage active. Yeah, but like the permanent loss stacks. Oh, I guess it is really small of a reduce. I guess it is only 5%. Okay, okay, fine. You've won me over. I'll put it in pretty good. Okay, finally off of the confusing-ass lunar items, now we're on to basically the actives. Homing missiles that deal damage, impossible to know without values. I'll put it in probably pretty good. I imagine it's just unavoidable damage, really. But you could dodge it by just going around a corner. It's not like it'd be that hard to avoid if you saw it coming. Healing Fruit would be very powerful. Just a 50% heal. Healing Fruit is basically just a selfish version of Healing Nova. It just heals you. Just you, and nobody else. Yeah, Black Hole would be fucking insane. Very nuts. All shots count as headshots. This would be passable. I mean, would it be pretty good? You wouldn't have to aim for headshots, but I mean, if you miss, you still miss. I'm gonna put it in passable because it would work, but only on a few characters. The backup would be really nice. I'll put it in the same as those dude. Prionic Emulator, just a big hit of damage. Sure, we'll put it in pretty good. A lot of these are just like damage. Free Flight, we have Majestic, we have Magic Carpet at home. It's Milky Chrysalis. I'll put it in passable and move on. I don't want to think about it that hard. Royal Capacitor would be very annoying, depending on how much damage it did, but we can never know with these damage aspects how the values would add up, so I'm putting it in pretty good and not overpowered. And it's not unavoidable. If you're moving fast enough, you can dodge Royal Capacitor, so... Crowdfunder would not be worth it at all, because you never want to lose money. I don't think it would ever be worth it. I guess if you wanted to, if the crowdfunder bullets gained the buffs of weapon damage increasing and fire rate stuff, of just weapon items in general, then it might be worth it for non-gun carries to have a gun option, but I don't think I think it would shoot too fast and it would just steal all your money, no matter what. Because you make money way slower in Deadlock than you do Risk Free 2, so I think I would be bad. But there's a possibility for it to work. What is Gnarled... What's its passive healing? What is Gnarled Woodsprite's passive healing? Where is it? Where is it? 10% per second? No, 1.5% for maximum health per second, so pretty decent regen, and then you can either heal yourself or an ally for 10% of their maximum health, which is not that much, but it helps. I'll put it in passable. This would be a very decent, like, green healing item. We already have the mini-map, bro. If you need the radar scanner in Deadlock, I'm sorry for your loss. Just look at the minimap. You could find the key box. If you also have the key, then the radar scanner would be insane, but I'm putting it terrible. It would technically do something, but not that good. This would be really interesting as a team attack item. Like, you throw it down and everyone can come with you and jump someone, or everyone could... You put it down... Oh my god, you put it down, like... You know those fights in Deadlock towards the end of the game where your team's just sort of putting the pressure on, killing the first wave of Patron? You just pop this down and they can all just take... Yeah, of course, I think they could. Yeah, because in multiplayer, you can take your teammates... Quantum, whatever the fuck they're called. In multiplayer and Risk of Raid 2 you can, so I don't know why you wouldn't be able to in Deadlock. I'd put it in passable, because it wouldn't be that insane, because it would require a lot of team coordination, but if you could pull it off, it'd be really good. Blast Shower, probably pretty good, because we have Dispel Magic. Dispel Magic does heal, but it is on a longer cooldown than Blast Shower. I'm gonna put Blast Shower in pretty good. I think it would be fine. It'd just be a better Dispel Magic, in my opinion. It wouldn't heal, but it would be up more often. Volcanic Egg, probably pretty good. You're not intangible when you're in Volcanic Egg, are you? I don't remember. I don't use it that often, so I don't remember. Can still be damaged in Firefall. Yeah. It would be fine. It would be passable, probably. It would work. Be a nice little ambush tool, but wouldn't be as great of an escape tool because it doesn't move very fast, so I'd say no. Jade Elephant, look, if we're going by our idea of the amount of armor is equal to the amount of percentage of spirit and bullet resilience that you get, 500 for 5 seconds would basically make you immortal for 5 seconds. So combine this with Dynamo ult or something would be insane. I'm putting it in pretty good because it would be character specific, but yeah, Summering, I'm going to put it in the same as DMS and all the other damaging ones because we can't know unless we got it. Recycler, I was looking at this when we were going through for things that like wouldn't really work, but I think Recycler would be funny because you just use it on one of your other items and it randomly re-rolls. Even though, my brother in Christ, you're the one who bought the item, why do you need to recycle it? It'd still be funny. I'm gonna put it in bad because it could be helpful. It could be helpful if it was free also, because that'd be like, say you have an item that you're no longer really using. Like, say you bought, monster rounds early in the game. You can use this recycler to re-roll it to something else for free. It still wouldn't be that good, but, you know, because it keeps it within the rarity, so it'd still just be a different level 1 item, but it would work. Supermatch with Leech is only 20% lifesteal. I feel like that would be an interesting way to put an upgraded item. If they added Supermassive Leech as a level 3 item that upgraded from probably Spirit lifesteal, or both of the lifesteals, into eventually Infuser or Vampiric Burst, it would work. Or Leech, I guess. I'll put it passable. It would work as a decent tier 3 item. Gorag's Opus, we have... It's just a better... It's global, whereas Heroic Aura isn't, so it'd just be a much better... I honestly put it up there, because it's global. Everyone gets it. There aren't... I guess you could combine FMP with stuff like Glass Cannon and Trophy Hunter's Tricorn. Or, sorry, not Trophy Hunter's Tricorn. I'm looking at Trophy Hunter's Tricorn when I was saying that. But you could combine FMP with Trophy Collector and Glass Cannon to instantly fill up their passives, and then just do nothing else. Oh, I guess it would also be insane with Healbane, because you just constantly heal. We'll put it in passable, because it only works with like 3 items, but the ones it does, works great. Trophy Under Tricorn, get instant kill mid-boss. You instant kill mid-boss, and you get its reward. Rejuve. I'm putting it in bad. You still have to go pick it up in Risk of Rain 2, so I don't think this would make it so that your team automatically wins mid-fight. But it would be funny, because this would give every character the ability to backdoor mid when the enemy team least expected it, so mid would just turn into whoever was sneakier about it. Molotov Cocktail, somebody said Molotov would be OP. I don't agree. I think it'd be very easy to avoid. I'm going to put it in passable, because it would be a good area denial, but it wouldn't be insane. Molotov feels like an ability they're going to add in the future of Deadlock. Just a big burst of AoEs that you need to dodge as an enemy, you know? Credit card I feel like would be pretty good. 10% refund on every purchase. And you can buy all 3 items from multi-shop. But yeah, 10% refunds on all purchases. I'd put it in probably passable because it wouldn't be that insane. Because 10% is not that much when it comes to Deadlock, but it's something. I'll put it in passable. Credit card and Street Brawl? Hey, sure. Yeah, we'll say it works in Street Brawl like that. I'll put it in passable because it wouldn't be that good in the main mode, but it would be fine in Street Brawl. Gubo Jr. is really funny. Funny enough, I'm putting it in Best Buddy tier just because Best Buddy tier is really just for, this would be funny as fuck. But, does it inherit your items? It does, right? No, it doesn't. It doesn't. Does it? I don't remember. No, it doesn't. I didn't think so. I don't think it would be that funny. We're gonna put it in pretty good. Just have a dude running around that just exists. Remote Caffeinator, be pretty good. Just have a little thing you can refer to and get healing for all the your nearby allies. Be an interesting like early lane phase thing, or like an urn counterability. I could see Remote Caffeinator being added, just normal. It would be funny if it did damage. Like it does in Risk of Rain 2. I don't think it would work because people move around so much in Deadlock. We'll put it in pretty good. I think it would work. Free life, but it gets consumed on use. Oh well. I mean, it's a free life. Pretty shitty healing, but I don't know, it helps. We'll put it in bad just because it's not that good in the main mode, or in its original game in Risk of Rain 2, but it exists. It heals. No one's arguing with it. It's like roughly 20% of your health in Risk of Rain 2, right? It's not that much of a heal. It just exists. I don't know. It could be nice to just throw into the shop for your team to go grab when they need it. This could kind of be either seen as your next parry gives you the blessed buff, where your next hit automatically procs everything it can, or it could just be its own active, where on top of your parry. I think because it's considered a parry, I'm going to say it works like counterspell. This is kind of just a weirder counterspell. Instead of healing you and giving you spirit power, it gives you it gives you the blessed thing. I'll put it in passable. I think it would work. The aspects. I mean, they're all kind of insane, no? I need to look up what they actually do specifically. Burn for 50% total damage over time. That's a lot. And they have the fire trail, which would be nice on close range characters. Yeah, I'm gonna say this one's OP. It's just about finding which of these is not OP, right? Silence between two strikes is 50% of their health is replaced by shields. That's interesting. 50% total damage on all attacks. Yeah, this one would also be kind of insane. This applies free? No, but that only applies freeze when you die. What else does Herb-Riding Embrace do? Greatly slow enemies on hit, no matter what. If you die, you do the freeze explosion, which would be funny to run on Victor. We'll put... Yeah, it's greatly slow. Wait, what is greatly slow, by the way? Greatly slow is 80%. So, yeah, actually, fuck it. You're going in OP too. It's just about finding which of these wouldn't be OP. I don't think that his reassurance is that good. Yeah, it literally heals your allies over time, and you spawn a healing core on death. Could be nice as a support item. Just kind of heal your team all the time. I'm gonna actually put this in pretty good. I don't think it would be overpowered. Alienite's Blessing. What do you do? A player equipped with Aurelia Knight's Blessing gains the power of a golden nugget, flies out of enemies on hit, so gives you souls on hit. And also it's an active. It'd be ridiculous just for the money earning. I was just sort of thinking of the active. The active would just be auxiliary to the rest of it. Shared design is your attacks cripple. What does cripple do again? Reduces armor by 20 and movement speed. That's pretty nice. Every 10 seconds you fire bombs that deal damage. You get movement speed and maximum health. Yeah, no, it's pretty overpowered. Pretty overpowered. It's just, I don't know, we're just going through these to see if any of them would not be OP. This would be so fun to use in game. Malachite Aspect. Just the constant anti-heal aura, or the anti-heal bombs that you throw out that deal a shit ton of damage. Yeah, no, it'd be pretty good. Spectral Circlet. You're not invisible, I don't think. Yeah, I don't think you become invisible, do you? Yeah, Celestine allies are still visible. But yeah, it's all allies invisible in the radius, which would be pretty good. That'd be funny. That'd be really funny to carry as a page. It's like, oh, look at that page. She's standing alone on the lane. Let's all jump her. You go to jump her and 4 of her teammates appear because they're all invisible with her. Oh no! Yeah, no, it would be very good. Invisibility isn't as strong in Deadlock as it is in Risk of Rain 2, I think, but because of the aura you can see them by, but I think it would still work pretty well. What the fuck does the Twisted one do? I don't know. I never looked into it after. What does this do? They tether to 5 nearby allies in a 50-meter. Tethered allies gain 300 additional armor, which is a lot. When hit, will charge a lunar spike ball that floats above the player's head. After they are hit 10 times, which will happen very quickly, the ball will home onto a nearby enemy, dealing... And Lunar Ruin increases their taken damage and decreases their healing. I think it'd be overpowered just for all your nearby allies gain 300 armor. And what the fuck is this last one? What is Of One Mind? Oh, Collective. Dome that blocks projectiles and reduces ally and self cooldown by 20%. I didn't even know that was an aspect of this. aspect. And then you deal 100% damage silencing enemies for 2.5 seconds if they're close by to you when you die. I think that'd be pretty overpowered just for the cooldown reduction. It's basically like a Mystic Conduit. It literally is Mystic Conduit because it gives you 20% allies. 20%. Yeah, no, all the aspects are crazy, and also his reassurance exists. It's pretty good. It's just, I don't think it would be overpowered like the others ones were. Anyways, that does it for the Risk of Rain 2 tier list. I'm gonna slowly scroll through it for the video. And there it is. Any disagreements? You can pause if you disagree with any of these. Best buddy tiers for funny items that are just so funny that we want them, even if we don't like it. Overpowered items would be fucking insane in Deadlock. Pretty good would be items that would probably work and probably be better than most Deadlock items, but you know, they're close enough. Passable would be items that are similar already to items that are already in Deadlock, or items that just would be kind of okay in Deadlock. Bad would be items that are worse and would need buffs if they were added to Deadlock. Terrible would be actively detrimental ones or useless ones, and then probably wouldn't work is the ones that probably wouldn't work. I'm tired and hungry and need to pee, so thanks for watching this thing.